FIVEaa.
Showers increasing this afternoon with the 4 o'clock news. I'm Michaela Kamarek.
10-year warranty and 10-year capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
There is no official word on the condition of Japan's former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who has been shot while campaigning. The 67-year-old was fired at from behind by a man with what appears to be a homemade weapon. Asia correspondent Eric Bagshaw says the first gunshot was heard and it seemed no one was injured, but then a second shot rang out.
Abe went down immediately. They tried to do CPR there, and we know that he was both unconscious and unresponsive at the scene. So now they've transferred him to the local hospital in Nara, but we have not heard any update on his condition since then.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says he's shocked at the news. Mr Albanese says his thoughts are with Mr Abe's family and the people of Japan. Japan's ambassador to Australia says such an outrageous act should never be condoned, while US Secretary of State Antony Blinken says he's deeply saddened and concerned about the attempt on the life of the former Prime Minister. Australia has softened its stance on deporting New Zealand-born criminals. The federal government says it will apply common sense when considering individual cases. New Zealand citizens who've mainly lived in Australia are unlikely to be sent back. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern says it's a step in the right direction.
We acknowledge that Australia will continue to deport, as New Zealand currently does have provision and does deport those who don't have long-term connection to New Zealand. What we've been seeking is common sense in the spirit of friendship, and that's what Prime Minister Albanese has spoken to today.
A Conservative MP wants Boris Johnson to take sick leave after resigning as British Prime Minister. Mr Johnson will stay on as caretaker until the Tories elect a new leader, but MP Andrew Bridgen says he is concerned about Mr Johnson doing further damage.
If Boris Johnson said he was too unwell to carry on in his role and stood down, that would be an ideal solution for us all, and because at the end of the day he's lost his authority, he's been told he's got to leave Downing Street, and we know, John, that leave means leave, doesn't it?
2 primary school aged girls have been charged with assaulting a woman in the city last night. The 24-year-old was attacked from behind as she walked along North Terrace near the Adelaide railway station at about 8:30 p.m. The girls aged 10 and 11 were arrested nearby and charged with aggravated assault and affray. The victim wasn't badly hurt. It's only 6 months till the return of the Tour Down Under. The stages for the men's tour have been released today. It will get underway on Saturday, January 14, with the Classic in Victoria Square. Tourism Minister Zoe Bettison says it's great news for the state.
This puts us out there, beautiful photos across the world. We want to inspire people to see South Australia and book a flight to come and visit us here.
Now turning to FIVEaa Sport.
Meet Connor Rosie and Mark Bickley at Sports Card World's Trade Day this Sunday 12 till 2, Regent Arcade.
Port Adelaide has been forced to make a late change ahead of tomorrow's game against GWS, with defender Tom Cleary into the side replacing Trent McKenzie. McKenzie has a virus and didn't train today. Forward Ollie Lord has been added to the emergency list. Nick Kyrgios has sent his best wishes to Rafael Nadal via social media after he was forced to withdraw from their semi-final clash. Nadal says he had to make a tough call or risk making his abdominal injury worse.
Don't make sense to go, even if I tried a lot of time during all my career to keep going under very tough circumstances. In that one, I think it's obvious that if I keep going, the injury gonna be worse and worse, and that's the thing that I feel very sad to say that.
And at the second test between Australia and Sri Lanka in Galle, Australia is currently 2 for 99. Now checking FIVEaa traffic.
At St Peters, we've got a smash on Stephen Terrace near 10th Avenue in the Parklands. Rundle Road is closed between East Terrace and Kettleville Terrace. That's for the Illuminate Festival. Campbelltown, you'll find gas main replacement works there. Newson Road near Montague Road. And we're busy at the moment, North Terrace, Frome Road to Pulteney Streets. Cameras on the drive home, Green Valley Drive, Salisbury Heights, and the North-South Motorway at Waterloo Corner. Statewide Super is now Host Plus, an industry super fund for all Australians run only to benefit its members. That's a plus. Search Compare Host Plus today. Adelaide's Tonight's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota forklift advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Showers increasing this afternoon. Possible showers tomorrow 15. Sunday partly cloudy 15 and Monday showers 13. Right now it's 14 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
Chaos at Adelaide Airport. How to avoid the mayhem if you're travelling these school holidays. A former world leader shot in public. Why you're waiting longer to see a GP as SA heads towards a wave of winter illness. Nick Kyrgios enjoys a free pass to the Wimbledon final. Plus of fatty foods damaging our brains. I'm Brenton Braglis. See the full story on 9 News tonight at 6.
This is the 5AA Sports Show. Tim Ginniver and Mark Bickley.
It's 6 minutes after 4. Always look forward to a Friday. It's Rusden Wines in the Barossa Valley, home of the Blackgut Shiraz. RusdenWines.com.au. Footy Friday. Tim Ginniver and Mark Bickley, Sam Tugwell, all assembled till 6 o'clock. Boys, welcome.
Welcome, and to Christian and the team at Rusden Wines. Hello. Hello, happy weekend. Yeah.
It's already started
You start smiling the minute you mention Rusden. You're smiling already. We've had a couple of stouts, haven't we, with Leith in his show. But good afternoon, everyone. A couple of late changes for both sides. Trent McKenzie, you might have heard in the news, he's a late out for Port Adelaide and for Adelaide. Shane McAdam, no real surprise, down at training
You picked that
earlier in the week, and he was still doing straight line stuff on their main training session. Still looked a very slight little limp, so it was always a long shot, and he's been dropped out of the squad today.
Fair enough too. Just interesting on the first one, isn't it amazing? Mackenzie and Cleary. You know,
they can never get together.
It's almost as if they're the same person, never seen in the room together. It's amazing, isn't it?
Bruce Wayne and
yeah,
Batman.
Exactly. Spot on.
Yeah, it's been one of those crazy years, absolutely. So we'll get into the teams. The Port Adelaide side is just about locked away, but the Crows side is its current 26-man squad. So at 4:30 we'll hear the full side, so we'll get that and also speak to James Raleigh after 5 o'clock to get the full ins and outs. But Bix, let's get your side of things for the Crows game this weekend. You think there's a chance they can beat the Hawks?
Well, I do, and I must say, earlier in the week I was less optimistic. Just playing at Marvel Stadium, the Hawks, they play a Formula One style footy. They rebound off their defensive 50. They take the game on, and I just thought, getting outside of Adelaide, that's where they're vulnerable. They're a really tight, incontested side. But then I looked at some of the names that are out, and they've made something like 7 changes to their squad. So, but more importantly, it's some of the quality in terms of who's out. So Gunston's out, obviously through the passing of his dad, which is tragic news for Jack, and we all feel for him and totally understand that he's not available. James Warple is out injured. And also Will Day, who's one of those guys who is really good by foot and rebounds off half-back. So I reckon when you lose real quality, and let's be honest, they're a young team like Adelaide, so their depth is not quite at the level of some of the top teams. I think it makes them vulnerable. And then when I thought more about this, the one thing that we have come to expect from Adelaide is pressure and the way they get at the opposition. And we saw that last week. They really got at Melbourne and they created great intensity, great pressure, and Melbourne were just a little bit too classy at different stages, whether it was from some of their intercept marks across half-back to some of the,
saw it again last night.
Yeah, Oliver and Petrarca and those guys through the middle of the ground. So they just had a little bit more polish. I just don't see that same polish with the Hawks. So you think about Adelaide, had a world record 30 intercept marks. Even if they clean that up a little bit and only have 20 intercept marks, and they're probably not going to get hurt as much on the rebound of playing against the Hawks, I think they can actually create enough turnover and hurt Hawthorn going back the other way. Because one thing we do know, Fogarty and Walker are in pretty good shape at the moment, and Walker in particular, I think he looks like he's a class above, and we know how good he is at the Marvel Stadium. I think Adelaide, they've really warmed on me, and I think they can win on Sunday.
There you go.
There's no Matthew Nick spoke earlier today. There's still no Matt Crouch in this side. He sounded like there's a future there for him at the club. He spoke earlier today, but not for this week.
Look, at this point, he's doing everything we've asked of him, and the opportunity will come. And this is how footy works. It's constant communication with every player that we deal with, and it's around work on your form as you're doing, continue to put your name there, and the opportunity will shine. So everything we're doing at the moment is open communication around what it looks like. I'm sure he'll continue to play the level of footy he's playing at SNFL level. In fact, he'll probably take it to another level, and then we'll see him before you know it.
So what he's saying there is, right now, you're behind 1 and 2, which is Laird and Keys, in terms of in your age bracket and the way you play and the style of play. And we want to look at Schomburg and Berry. So we're not going to replace you. So when he said keep playing well and your opportunity will come, that's effectively until either one of those other two drops out of form or get injured or something else happens.
You're playing.
Your ranking has just slipped, and you've slipped to the number 3 experienced midfielder, and that's where you sit at the moment.
A few teams wouldn't mind a Matt Crouch in their team. Let me tell you, getting it. I reckon North Melbourne could do with a bloke that gets it 35 times.
Well, I think the other one, I might have mentioned this earlier in the week. I reckon
Bombers.
The Bombers, they've got some outside run. They've got some guys who can use it by foot. and a lot of people said, Matt Crouch was available last year and there wasn't a whole lot of interest. We've got to remember, last year, Matt Crouch had missed 12 months of footy.
They didn't know whether he was going to come back.
That's right. Yeah. So now I think teams have seen him. They've seen what he's capable of.
Convinced.
And when you think about some of the players that get recruited from the Sandful and the Waffle and the VFL and how they come in and step up, well, Crouch is just too good for that level. When you're getting 40 touches, 12 or 13 clearances and kicking 2 goals, that just suggests that you are much higher than that level. So I think there will be interest, but once again, what that interest will be, I don't think it's going to be, in terms of what teams are willing to pay in terms of a draft pick. I don't think it's going to be anything they'll be salivating over. No. So they have to weigh up, let's pick a number, an end of second round pick or an early third round pick. You really want to give away a 27-year-old best and fairest winner who's been an All-Australian, and if he still wants to play and he's got a determination to get himself back in front of those other guys and still play in Adelaide at the level, well, what would you be contemplating if he doesn't want to leave?
Going to be a tough 6 weeks, I reckon, for him. Just waiting for that opportunity.
Absolutely. Across the road at Alberton, Port Adelaide, big game against the Giants on Saturday night. Ken Hinkley spoke this morning. He thinks their form is going all right.
Right now we're at our best because we have to be at our best with what we've got. But, there's some growth still with what we haven't had and what we need. And whether it be consistency of the team or consistency of individuals, or whether that be a clean run with some individuals who haven't always had that go perfect. But we're getting better. We're getting close. I mean, we're 7-3. We've lost to Richmond, Freo and Geelong. They're going okay. That's just the form of the football season, and our biggest problem was and still clearly our staff.
Keeping their season alive, Tim. Why did Port Adelaide win? And how?
I think he's right about the form. I think it's been very good since the 0-5. It probably came good halfway through that Carlton game. Got mainly right people in the right spots, nearly. And when I say that, I think while Lycett's out, I want to see Charlie Dixon, and we'll talk to him today. Later on, I want him 80% in the ruck this week, because I see that as a bit of advantage. Where Port have probably come undone a little bit was when Big Wits, even though we beat Gold Coast, Wits had the better of Port because he's such a man mountain. Eventually it was Charlie that had to take that job on in the last quarter, but they were within range at three-quarter time. So that's a big different kettle of fish to when you're 40 points down against Freo, who are a top 4 side, and you've got Sean Darcy running amok. So it has to happen early. I think you start Charlie in ruck, and he's got to you tell him, mate, you're doing 80% of it today. Jeremy's going to do the other 20, but you're doing 80% of it. And really, GWS aren't strong in that area. It's not as if they got a Mumford or anybody like that can push them around. So I think there's a big advantage there for Port. Yes, the Giants' midfield's pretty good. Port's can match it. The other thing is, I'm not over the moon with the GWS forward line. I don't think it's scary other than Toby Green. Toby Green's one of the best players in the AFL, in my opinion. I think he makes things happen. And if Toby Green's playing and playing well, you got some problems. So he's the main issue. Other than that, I think Port's backs take care of their key forwards. Yeah, it's interesting because you mentioned the point I was going to make, which is you look at the names Taranto, you look at Josh Keller, you look at Tom Green, you look at Lockie Whitfield, Stephen Cornelio, Toby Green. You see these outstanding players, but Taranto's been battling. Whitfield is a shadow of the player that he was. Josh Kelly's been a little bit hit and miss. We saw him play against Adelaide, played one of the best games I've ever seen. That was 2 months ago. Hasn't been anywhere near recapturing that form. So it's a little bit like which team is going to turn up. And Port Adelaide, much more consistent over the last 3 or 4 weeks. The Giants had a solid win last week, but
there. They're not quite the team they were.
It took them a while to shake Hawthorn off. It took the second half, difficult conditions, but we're here at Adelaide Oval. Port Adelaide's crowds have been turning up. I've got to take my hat off to the people. They're turning up and they're very enthusiastic, and I think, if anything, they can carry him over the line.
How do you feel, Port Adelaide and Crows fans? 822 300 00. Lines are open, $50 Powers voucher. State your case. Why is your team they're going to be the better of the two on the weekend? We'll speak to Charlie Dixon, as you mentioned just before, on the show in the next hour. James Raleigh from the Crows and Matthew Lobe from Port Adelaide, the two assistants as well, to break down the two teams. Phil Davis is going to join us as well from the Giants to get the opposition's perspective. And while we're talking achievements, I want to talk about tennis. I think we've got to turn this to one of the most remarkable sports stories this year. Rafa Nadal has withdrawn from the Wimbledon semi-final overnight and has now gifted an opportunity for Nick Kyrgios to play in a Wimbledon men's singles final. First Grand Slam final for him ever.
Yeah, what was amazing, I heard somebody question Nadal's injury. It was
I saw that.
Did you,
toughest bloke going around.
Yeah,
Italian tennis player, I can't remember his name. But
he said, I don't think he was actually injured. Now, he's pulled out of...
Fognini, was it?
That's the one.
Yep.
That's the one.
He's pulled out of a Grand Slam for it. Now, I think that's genuine, and he's tough.
He's been grinding through semi-finals and finals through his last couple of years. He made the Australian Open
injuries,
final, remember?
Yeah.
And was in serious distress and still found a way to win. So this is... must be pretty bad. Torn abdominal muscle.
Yeah, but you know what it does? Nick Kyrgios is now in his first ever Grand Slam final. Now,
incredible.
I've got a little stat for you. You know, you think, oh, Timmy's just sitting there having a laugh, mucking around. No, he is a beaver.
He's working hard.
He just digs and digs
What have you got
to get
for
the
us?
stories, all right? When has this happened ever before?
How many times?
Yeah, you ask. Now,
A
it's
walkover
happened-
in a semi-final.
Correct, in a Grand Slam.
Oh.
Only happened 3 times in a Grand Slam history.
Really?
3 times?
Yep. 1988, Steffi Graf was going to play Chris Evert.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Evert had to pull out. That was US Open. So Steffi straight to the final.
Wow.
92, 30 years ago, Jim Courier was supposed to play Richard Krajicek in the Aussie Open. Had to pull out. Injured. So Jim straight through. 22, Kyrgios, Nadal.
Unbelievable.
And you know what the stat is there? Guess what happened in those other Grand Slams?
They going to win?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't,
I didn't check. You left us hanging.
I didn't go that far.
You fell at the last hurdle, Timmy. I tell you what, though, when you think about it, the fact that it becomes a war of attrition the longer it goes, and there's been a couple of 5-setters in there for Nick. When you don't have to play that game, you get a couple of extra days recovery. He gets to sit back and just watch what happens in the other semi. He's hoping they're going to slug it out for 4 or 5 sets. He comes in fresh. He will never get a better chance.
I'm with you. I think it's unbelievable how it's all panned out for him. But the other thing he picks up, about $600,000
extra.
Yeah, it's almost like a big bonus check because he didn't play, but you go to the next round, you get that 600.
Added
So
rest.
it's nearly $1 million Aussie dollars.
Wow.
How good's that?
This
You'll
is
be happy.
This is what I'm hoping.
Okay.
I hope he wins, and then I'm going to watch and see who are the people that are clamouring to come on my show. Please ring Ella, come and have a chat with us. Because he's had his knockers along the way, and it'd be interesting to see whether...
You're saying there's going to be a lot of hypocrisy.
Yeah, I think there'll be people that will be blowing wind up his,
okay,
because
that
he's a
word.
Wimbledon champion potentially. Now, and some will, and some will stick true to their guns, and which is fine, and just say, oh, look, he's not the best representative we've ever had, and everyone's open to their opinion. But I hope, exactly. But I hope that the people that had that opinion aren't swayed just because he's actually gone all the way.
The classic bandwagon. Yeah.
So, guess what happens tonight? There's also another semi-final.
Oh, hello.
You've got Cameron Norrie, who's the number 9 seed from the UK. So we have the home crowd behind him. He's up against Novak Djokovic, the number 1
I've heard
seed.
of him.
If Novak gets through to the final, this will be one of the most polarising games
Well, this is the
you've
thing.
ever seen.
There might be people that both hate Novak and hate Kyrgios. They won't be able to barrack for anyone.
That's incredible.
Think about that. Who's going to be barracking for who in a final where you've got Djokovic and Kyrgios? Because you might not like either.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Be pretty tough to support.
There's 2 villains.
Two villains. It doesn't
That
normally
never
happen.
happens.
Yeah.
Have you say?
Not many movies about.
Yeah, it's the
two
Penguin
villains.
versus the Joker.
Who are you supporting? 822 300 00. And of course, we're definitely supporting as a collective tonight. Matt Ebden and Max Purcell, 10:30, the men's doubles final. We're looking forward to that. They are in for the Aussies.
So just on that, so that mean does Matt Ebden make two finals?
Consecutive finals. He played with Sam Stozer last night in the mixed doubles final, lost in straight sets, sadly, but gets another crack at it in the men's doubles tonight.
We've got a rich history in doubles, haven't we?
Haven't we? And we've had some good history in finals at Wimbledon the last 2 years. We had, of course, Ash Barty win it. We had Dylan Alcott get there and win last year as well. So
Tom Lanovich make it through to the quarters consecutive years as well.
So this is quite a happy hunting ground at the moment for our Aussies. Have your say, 822 300 00. I'd like to hear who's supporting Djokovic and who's supporting Kyrgios in a final, if that was to come up. It's 20 minutes after 4. We'll take your calls after the break.
Sunday nights from 7, join Sean Fuster with his partner in crime, Daniel Panozzo, for Just Lawful, the Adelaide crime stories that will leave you stunned. Thanks to Crime Stoppers SA and Police Credit Union, supporting better communities. crimestopperssa.com.au.
Check out what I got at Sip and Save.
Whoa, that is one ugly jumper.
It's not just any ugly jumper, it's a Cooper's ugly jumper, exclusive to Sip and Save.
Cool, you got the Christmas in July look sorted. How do I get one?
Well, you just buy any 3 cases of participating Cooper's 24-pack beer.
Oh, it is snuggly. I don't know if green's my colour though.
How about purple? There are 4 different designs to collect.
Now you're talking.
You better hurry though, they're only available while stocks last. See website for T's and C's. 1 hour delivery available in selected areas. Just download our app. Catalogue specials out now at sipandsave.com.au.
Aldi's Aussie Turkey Mince is now only $4.99 for 500 grams and will completely transform your meals. Turn burgers into turkey burgers, meatballs into turkey meatballs, salad into... salad? Aldi. Good. Different.
Do you still love your car? Why not take it to Edwardstown Mazda to see what it's really worth? It's the safest and easiest way to move your car on and get into a new or used Mazda. 862 South Road, Edwardstown.
Not to brag, but AFL's biggest stars are at my place. They're smaller than expected, a little two-dimensional, but only because they're limited edition AFL sports cards. You too can own a piece of footy history with the Select Footy Stars 2022 collection at Sports Card World, plus exclusive jumbo packs and everything you need to keep your collection in mint condition. If you're a collector or interested in collecting, chat to the experts at Sports Card World, Regent Arcade, Rundle Mall.
What's got Mike singing? Mike just got an energy-efficient heat pump installed by EcoVantage. Not only is it using nearly 80% less energy than his old hot water system and saving hundreds off his power bills, he got it for free. Thanks to federal and SA government incentives, you can get your own energy-efficient heat pump from just $0. Pump your energy bills down with EcoVantage. Visit ecovantage.com.au.
What starts with A and ends with E? Supplements for you and me.
Arbor Vitae health supplements are now available at leading chemists and health food stores nationwide. Ask for Arbor Vitae at your favourite pharmacy.
Arbor Vitae.
Building amazing homes is important to Beechwood Homes, and so is the environment. So when you build with Beechwood, you're building a better environment for our kids and grandkids. Here's why. Around 70% of scrap materials from every Beechwood home is recycled. Bricks, rubble, timber, gyprock and steel, none of it goes to landfill. It's all sorted and recycled. So life really is good. It's even better in a Beechwood home. Google Beechwood Adelaide today for a better future for all of us.
Need an electrician and need one today? Ken Hall Electricians do it all. From lighting, power points and appliance installation to a full house rewire. No job is too big or small. Give Ken a call. Ken Hall Electricians, 8364 5855.
Scraped your caravan? Don't worry. Call Walker Crash Repairs, your RAA-approved caravan crash repairer.
This is the 5AA Sports Show.
24 minutes after 4, rediscover the road in the all-new Toyota Land Cruiser 300 at Jarvis Toyota, South Road, Clovelly Park. They've got the brand new 3.3-litre twin-turbo V6 diesel engine. It's the most powerful Land Cruiser yet. all from Jarvis Toyota. We'll check your traffic, take your calls very shortly, and we'll reflect on last night's game. What a ripper, Melbourne and the Cats.
At St Peters, there's a smash on Stephen Terrace near 10th Avenue. In the Parklands, Rundle Road is closed between East Terrace and Kettleville Terrace. That's for the Illuminate Festival. At Campbelltown, you'll find gas main replacement works there. Newton Road near Montague Road, speeds at 40, and we're busy North Terrace, Frome Road to Pulteney Streets. Cameras, Cavan Road, Dry Creek, and Burbage Road at West Beach. 5 crispy chicken strips for $5 at a Porto. 5 100% crispy chicken strips with a dipping sauce for just $5. Limited time only. Order in store or take away now. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Well, of course, huge game, excuse me, last night. Timmy, the Cats, they got over the top of Melbourne, stuffed up my footy tips, along with many others probably. But what it showed is that Geelong are going just beautifully at the moment, and they have a lot of avenues to go. When you think about it, at one stage, Stengel, Cameron and Hawkins had hardly hit the scoreboard, yet they were still in front. And then when they did finally get themselves organised and kicked a couple of goals, it was enough to get them home by about 5. And they are a genuine threat now. Many people thought they can't keep going down this path of topping up with older players, but Chris Scott and his team and the club in general have been able to defy logic and stay really relevant, and could find himself winning the minor premiership.
Well, their finals performances last year, they were completely written off as too old. It's over, the experiment's over, you've got to go and strip it back and start again type behaviour. Now, they've proven that wrong because they are incredibly consistent. One thing I will say is that oval and that ground is a massive advantage for Geelong. They will win. Well, we know their record there is unbelievably impeccable. What have they lost? 3 in 10 years or something ridiculous. So it's amazing the difference. It's also a little narrower than the MCG.
Yes.
What I would say is...
It's like a cigar.
Yeah. They've got to be able to replicate what they can do there on those bigger decks, because I think Melbourne on the MCG versus them, that's a different result. And that's, I think, Geelong's challenge is they've got to be able to transfer that unbelievable home game style they've got. They've got to be able to do it on a bigger deck. Now, they definitely won that game and were the better team on the night. And I think always, scoring shots end up telling the truth. 12-19 to 9-9s, 31-18. So they definitely had that. But what I do like is there is a lot more options to goal, but there is a lot more players contributing, not just the same ones. So they're doing it well. It's just the question mark will be on them. And as it's been on a lot of clubs, can you do it in finals? I mean, Port and Brisbane are in that boat as well. It's just about being able to do it.
When you think about Geelong, they won their last flags in 2011. They played in a grand final in 2020, I think it was. They've been in 6 prelim finals, losing prelim. So that's
an incredible
mountain they've got to climb, isn't it?
Yeah,
they've got to pinch another one before this group finishes up, and it is getting right towards the end. But when you've got Hawkins and Cameron in the same forward line, they are 2 genuine stars. I think I saw a stat the other day, and Chuck Stengel in there. They're over 100 goals between those 3. And when you look at some of the other combinations, let's take Walker and Fogarty, for example. Walker's somewhere around 30 and Fogarty's probably 20, so that's 50. Exactly right. And then you've got Port Adelaide, probably Todd Marshall and Georgiades, you're probably 50 again, somewhere around that. So having that 2-prong attack and even last night I think one of them were goalless, but still able to kick a winning score.
And the beauty of that is it's allowed Hawkins to play deeper because he's stronger and older. And of course, Jeremy loves going for a run. He loves going up and winding back. So it's actually been a really good combo, those two.
What do you think of Melbourne? Where are they at the moment? Because a couple of weeks ago we saw them and you thought, well, actually go back a month and a half ago when they were undefeated and you're thinking, no one's going to touch this team. And yet they lost 3 in a row. They came back and played one really good game, solid against Adelaide without being super impressive, but then they were sort of dismantled last night.
If I was a Melbourne supporter or a Melbourne person, I wouldn't be too concerned, because if you are going to have a slight slump in form, this is the time to have it. What they need to do now is to build into the last 4 or 5 weeks going into finals. And that will coincide with having everybody back on the park. Max Gawn's first run last night looked like he needed it.
He looked rusty. The question mark for me is the front half of the ground. Defence looks really good,
had a good year
with May and Lever back there. The middle with Petrarca and Oliver and like I said, Gawn and Jackson when they get back. Chuck Viney, and Viney was excellent last night. But their forward line is just going at the moment. Pickett's battling to get his hands on the footy. Brown, it was okay last night, but it really hasn't been super in the last month and a half. The other fella, Fritsch, is just going as well, so he hasn't quite recaptured.
So there's a lot of form in a lot of good players not there at the moment.
Wiedemann out of the side.
It's not to say it can't come back, and that's the thing. They probably, if they can time their run and get those last 4 games humming, going into finals, I think other teams would be a bit nervous because, again, the MCG's their home deck.
Well, let's have a listen to what Chris Scott had to say about the Cats win.
It's put to me that Simon Goodman said during the week, this game's probably a bit of an audit for where his team's at. And we thought, that's a pretty good description. That's a bit, like, whatever happens, we will learn a bit. And I think we won't get carried away with a win. It doesn't make us the best team in the comp because we beat them at home. But what it does say to our players is the things we've been working on can stand up against the very best teams.
Well, there you go. Chris Scott, he's been a super impressive coach, hasn't he? When you look at that record, no one's won more games in that last sort of 10 or 11 years. So he's been very, very good.
Just his hairdos, that worry me.
It's getting longer, isn't it? Time for the 4:30 headlines with Michaela. We'll come back. Phil Davis to join us from the GWS Giants.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamareg. Former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is in a critical condition in hospital after being shot while campaigning in the country's west. Foreign Minister Penny Wong says she'll have an open discussion when she meets her Chinese counterpart tonight. 2 primary school-aged girls have been arrested and charged with assaulting a woman on North Terrace last night, and Port Adelaide have made a late change ahead of tomorrow night's game against GWS at Adelaide Oval. Defender Tom Cleary replaces Trent McKenzie, who has a virus. Now checking 5AA traffic.
At St Peters, there's a smash on Stephen Terrace near 10th Avenue. In the Parklands, Rundle Road is closed between East Terrace and Decatable Terrace for the Illuminate Festival. At Campbelltown, you'll find gas main replacement works there. Newton Road near Montague Road speeds at 40, and we're busy North Terrace, Frome Road to Pulteney Streets. Camrose Grey Terrace, Rosewater, and Military Road at Westlake Shore. Shopping around for the latest 5G phone? At Optus, you can get the best price guaranteed. Visit Optus in-store or check out the Optus 5G phone price match online today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Possible showers tonight, a low of 7, partly cloudy tomorrow 15. Right now it's 13 degrees. More news at 5 o'clock and as it happens on 5AA.
5AA Breakfast.
In a massive legal win, the Nine Network, the Age newspaper and the journalists Caroline Wilson and Sam McClure have not only apologised, they've issued retractions to the High Performance Mindset Training Specialists Collective Mind.
Informing Adelaide.
Director Eamon Wolfe. Eamon, this is a pretty emphatic victory.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, hey? Finally, at last, the record's going to get set straight.
Returns Monday on 5AA.
Check out what I got at Sip and Save.
Whoa, that is one ugly jumper.
It's not just any ugly jumper, it's a Cooper's ugly jumper, exclusive to Sip and Save.
Cool, you got the Christmas in July look sorted. How do I get one?
Well, you just buy any 3 cases of participating Cooper's 24-pack beer.
Ooh, it is snuggly. I don't know if green's my colour though.
How about purple? There are 4 different designs to collect.
Now you're talking.
You better hurry though, they're only available while stocks last. See website for T's and C's. 1-hour delivery available in selected areas. Just download our app. Catalogue specials out now at sipandsave.com.au.
Hi, Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. If you see a late model Mercedes for sale in a small car yard, you'd be hoping you might be able to snare a bargain. If you see the same Mercedes for sale at a respected dealership specialising in luxury European vehicles, you're likely to value that car more highly. The same goes for real estate. Market perception is everything. Sure, most agencies will be able to sell your home in this market, but only a premium agency can deliver a premium result. Visit toop.com.au to find out more.
20 years ago, Toyota set the standards for hybrid vehicles with the iconic Prius. Today, they're still leading the way with their Toyota hybrid technology for a cleaner, greener future for all Australians. Jarvis Toyota is Adelaide's home of hybrid. They can get you behind the wheel of your own small, medium or large sedan or SUV with best-in-class fuel economy. There are now hybrid options for Yaris, Corolla and Camry, SUVs as well. There's the CHR, the RAV4, Yaris Cross and Kluger. And you can rely on maintaining your hybrid with Toyota Genuine Servicing. Work towards a better future together with Jarvis Toyota, South Road, Clovelly Park, Adelaide's home of hybrid.
How far would you go for your dream kitchen? And how far would you go to not deal with organising all the trades? How about 15 minutes up the freeway to Balhanna Kitchens by Design? 2, the largest showroom in the Adelaide Hills. Custom build your dream with our award-winning designers.
Plus, we can manage the installation and all sub-trades at a fixed price. Balhanna Kitchens by Design. It's not too far to go to make your dream a reality. balhannakitchens.com.au.
It's value the Australian way at Coles with great fresh specials this week. Like delicious Kent pumpkins, 100% Aussie and just $1.40 a kilo. This week at Coles. Offer ends Thursday.
Scraped your caravan? Your insurance should cover that. Speak to Walker Crash Repairs and let them fix it.
This is the FIVEaa Sports Show.
It's 26 minutes to 5. Still to come, Matthew Lobey from the Port Adelaide Footy Club, as is Charlie Dixon, all thanks to Macca's. James Raleigh from the Crows will join us as well to talk about this weekend's game on Sunday. We've got our Port Adelaide locker room quiz to do later on as well, and the $350 mystery moment thanks to the Barra Hotel Group, all coming up on the show. Phil Davis from the Giants still to come, but boys, really good news today. You would have heard all the announcements. The tour down under here in Adelaide is getting set to go. That's in January next year.
Bit of a new look.
Stuart O'Grady's had 3 years at the helm so far, and
two of them haven't been.
Well, he hasn't been able to get creative because COVID has basically come in. Well, we heard from Hitaf Rashid today at the announcement. Very exciting news. It's going to look very different next year.
For the first time ever, we're going to have a time trial in the city around the riverbank, and they'll be finishing in front of the Adelaide Festival Centre on the riverbank. And then we've got starts at Brighton and Port Wollonga, which we've never had before. And, of course, Corkscrew is back. It hasn't been in the race routes for a few years.
Very exciting indeed. So it looks very different next year, and we'll keep tabs on that as we get closer.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, particularly the time trial finishing in front of the festival theatre. That'd be great to see how they set that up. The teams have dropped for Adelaide. Of course, they named a squad yesterday of 26. It's been trimmed, and there's a little bit of a surprise because we all thought Matt Croucher was going to be out, but in fact, he is in. He's been named on a 4-man bench. So effectively what has happened is Rochelle is out injured. Hinge is out with health and safety protocols, and Lockie Murphy goes out of the team. So into the side comes Hamill back in, Mick Henry back in, and also Matt Crouch comes back in. So what that means, I'm just trying to work out what that means. It probably means that if Crouch goes and plays in the midfield, it means that Schonberg or Berry probably have to take that role that Lockie Murphy plays, which is that high half forward that gets up the ground. As they've been named, Jake Saligo has been named in that position, Chase Jones on the wing. So they've got rid of a small forward and brought in an extra midfielder. So all those guys, I guess, will be rotated through that sort of part of the ground.
Beautiful. Indeed. All right, let's switch our attention to the Port Adelaide and GWS Giants on the weekend.
Okay, Phil Davis, former skipper of the Giants, he's back in the side, which we all love, and he joins us now. Good afternoon, Phil.
Hey, Biggs. Hey, Tim. How are you guys? Nice to be here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Let's start with coming back to Adelaide first and foremost. I just had a look at your record. Firstly, against Port Adelaide in isolation, you played 4 times and won 3 of them. And then if we go back to just Adelaide Oval, the last 2 visits you've had, you're both against Adelaide, but you played as good a footy as you've played. So it doesn't hold any fears coming to Adelaide to play footy.
No, I guess we've been quite fortunate that, our recent history's been quite good. I must admit there was a period there when the Crows were flying, we couldn't get within 10 goals of them here. So I think we've had a bit more luck recently, which has been nice. But I must admit, it's an amazing atmosphere. It's funny, we were talking about it today and even during the week, how great it is to play Adelaide Oval and, whether we play the Crows or the Power. But Power, you start to think about, never tear us apart just before the first bounce. I know it's obviously trying to psych up the home fans, but as a travelling team, it's also very exciting to be a part of.
Great for you to be back in the team. You played in rounds 1 and 2, and then you've missed a whole heap of footy, and then you've been back for the last 2 rounds, 15 and 16. So nice to be back out there playing, and after 2 rounds, starting to get a little bit of continuity back in your footy.
Yeah, Biggs, it's nice to be back. I must admit, it's incredibly frustrating. The last couple of years with my body, I feel when I'm playing, I feel physically really good, but just missing so much footy is frustrating because that continuity is what a footballer really strives for, and hopefully I can finish the season strongly and starting tomorrow night.
Yeah, you look like you moved all right, buddy. So there's a little tip for you. Hey, mate, I'm interested to see what the mood been like amongst the group. Now, it's been a few weeks since Leon Cameron departed. You've had McVeigh in there. How's it all working out? Because I think it's actually, from the outside, it appears that you guys are in a really happy place.
Oh, there's no doubt there. The shackles are definitely a little bit off in terms of that. Because the goal sticks have sort of moved a little bit when at the start of the year. We all want to play finals and play deep finals, and unfortunately, we probably need to win 7 straight to be a chance. So there's a little bit of freedom that's come along the way, and Mark's done a great job in terms of, it's hard to take over. Bix can tell you that, 2011 when he took over for the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks there. It is a challenging role, and, he's been very good at sort of coming in and, putting more emphasis on, trying to play with a bit more dare, a bit more creativity. There's no doubt that, before that wasn't being stifled, but there's something about that change that has really enforced that sort of style of our game. And he's definitely trying to develop our game holistically. Everyone talks about the offense. We're putting a lot of time into our stoppage game and our defensive game as well. But, offense probably stands out a bit more. But, there's no doubt that sort of freedom that you get with the new coach has flowed onto the field.
Tell us about James Hird, who's come into the club at the start of the year doing some leadership stuff. We understand it's been slightly increased his role since Mark McVeigh has taken over. Have you enjoyed his involvement with the team?
Yeah, I think James is an incredible football mind. Obviously, his playing career speaks for itself. But you talk about his coaching tenure and his understanding of the game is seriously impressive. Even when he was in the leadership capacity only. Personally, I love working with him. He's obviously done a lot of work in the business world as well more recently, done a lot of studies. So for me, just leaning onto that was just terrific. He went above and beyond what he sort of had to in that leadership role. And then, in the course of Mark taking over, the ability to get him a bit more time, as well as Dean Solomon come in and help. We've been very fortunate to have 2 great footy minds probably having more input in our footy program.
Who do you go to when you walk out? You're going down to defence. Who are you walking up to?
Still working that out, Tim. Sort of looked at their team last night. Obviously, Lysett was very close to trying to work out, where they're all going to line up. But, it's been, I'm a bit of a football fan, so it's been really nice watching Marshall. He's just getting better and better.
Yep.
Georgiadis is seriously exciting. Obviously, Dixon's been around a long time. And I've played him a fair few times.
Yes.
An imposing figure, great contested mark, and then obviously spending so much time with Jeremy Finlayson up in Sydney.
You know him well.
Yeah, you sort of talk about talent and ability. In terms of key forwards, they've got 4 very good ones. So I'm not sure exactly what it'll look like at the moment. I think it'll determine a little bit what they do in the ruck, but I'll be getting a look at all 4 of those, I presume.
Well, surely Mitch Georgiades, his aerobic capacity, his high flying, his explosiveness, his speed, surely he's a perfect matchup physically in the way you play, Phil?
Sometimes I forget. I think you forget what I was like when I was younger.
There's a bit of sarcasm in that, I think.
When I used to run around that uni loop and play with you, mate. I'll play under you. Sorry, you just forgot what sort of used to be like.
Well, yeah.
Well, we'll find out. I thought you once told me a few things that sometimes it's not about physical ability, it's about mental ability and all those kind of things, all the craft bits. I remember you telling me that story a few times.
Well, we've certainly got that, and you are one of the smarter footballers, Phil, but clearly that is something you've looked at, because Lockie Keith comes in, he gives you great flexibility with that size to be able to play down there. So you've got the ability to match up if they do send 3 big tools down there at some stage, and I guess Nick Haynes can play tall or small. So whichever way it goes, you're generally well serviced to be able to handle whatever they throw at you.
It's definitely been one of the more pleasing things in recent years in terms of our backline. Like even Sam Talib, he can actually play really, really well in smalls as well. He's got a good record on smalls and mid-sizes. Unfortunately, Connor Iden's out. He's got a great record playing tall and small. Harry Hilberg can play on the backline. He can do the same. So there's no doubt, we're built for flexibility in the back half. Isaac Cumming, a good North Adelaide boy, he can do it as well. So we've definitely got a backline that's flexible, and we'll definitely need it tomorrow, because before you know it, on the ground level, Butters is back, Gray, Roger, they're pretty stacked. Powell Pepper's having a great year. We know we'll have to be very, very flexible and on the top of our game tomorrow night.
I was going to ask you about Isaac Cumming. 29 disposals last week. All the usual suspects got the footy, Taranto and Kelly and the like. But, for a young man to do that and mostly, coming through defence, that's pretty good effort.
Yeah, I must admit, sometimes I get a little irritated and I take a deep breath when people don't talk about him enough. I just feel as though last year he was outstanding. He had an absolutely fantastic. I think he came 5th in our best and fairest, or 6th around that. And
Excellent.
then, this year he'd been our top 3 in our best and fairest this year. And I just think if he played, in a more watched state, he'd getting a lot more recognition because he gets a lot of the footy, he takes a lot of intercept marks, and his kick's just beautiful. And I think his game is really developed. I think he's a future All-Australian, and I'd like to think he's not too far from that team this year.
Phil, what's occupying you off the field? I know at different stages. You've done a law degree, you've done lots of different things. Are you doing much to keep yourself busy?
Excuse me, always trying to keep busy, Bix. Send you a few text messages. But no, I'm doing an MBA at the moment, so that's just sort of working through that. I'm actually doing dynamic leadership as my subject. I was working on that on my way over today. So, no, just trying to keep busy and just keep on upskilling and educating myself. Did the level 2 coaches course the other day just to keep ticking some boxes, Bix. But yeah, try to keep myself busy and learning at all times.
Well, it took me about 3 months to do a level 2 coaching course. You said what you did in one day. That just shows where we're at. Hey, Phil, good luck on the weekend, and always nice to have a chat again.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Really appreciate it.
There you go.
Cheers, Phil. All the best.
Phil Davis, former skipper, still a great player for GWS, and quite seriously, it doesn't have the physical capabilities that a lot of players have in terms of his flexibility and his speed, but his positioning and his smarts that he has, the way he uses his body. He's got a higher footy IQ, as I reckon I've seen.
You can't play for that long and not be,
no,
I don't reckon,
right.
And you're dead right. As in football's IQ and even off-field IQ, very high.
He's got a fair bit of it, hasn't he?
Yeah, your last chance to win double tickets to our locker room coming up later on in the show to Port Adelaide and the Giants on Saturday night. Tim Ginniver alongside Tom Wren and David Woody calling it live on 5AA from 7 on Saturday. We'll take a break and get to the traffic. On the other side, Charlie Dixon to join us. Thanks to Macca's.
At Edward Sound reports of a smash on South Road near FIVEaa Avenue. At South Brighton, we've got a breakdown on Brighton Road near Sturt Road. Dry Creek, truck broken down on the Port River Expressway near the north-south motorway. It's in the left-hand lane causing a few delays. And we're busy Trimmer Parade near Tapley's Hill Road. Camrose, Montague Road, Modbury North and Port Wakefield Road at Bolivar. Get $15 off at Coles when you spend $200 or more online. Head to coles.com.au and use promo code SAVE15. Ends July 12. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Keep up to date with state politics with Adelaide's own King of Spin, Matthew Abraham. Thursday mornings from 7:30 with David and Will. Thanks to your local Mitre 10. Friendly service, expert advice, quality brands at great prices. That's mighty helpful. Mitre 10.
Don't just send it, ace it.
I'm with Chris from ASIC Couriers, an SA family business, doing great things for your business.
Thanks, Rowie. Our drivers all undergo intensive training and the ASIC compliance team regularly audit our fleet. Plus, we use the latest satellite technology to track your deliveries. No matter what it is, we can deliver it safely and on time. Visit asiccouriers.com.au.
Don't just send it, ace it.
Not to brag, but AFL's biggest stars are at my place. They're smaller than expected, a little two-dimensional, but only because they're limited edition AFL sports cards. You too can own a piece of footy history with the Select Footy Stars 2022 collection at Sports Card World, plus exclusive jumbo packs and everything you need to keep your collection in mint condition. If you're a collector or interested in collecting, chat to the experts at Sports Card World, Regent Arcade, Rundle Mall.
Top of the list? First pick, numero uno. If you've been dreaming of choosing a new Mazda, Mawson Lakes Mazda want to give you preferential treatment. New stock has arrived, and right now you can take first pick of the Mazda range and lock in an amazing deal. Get behind the wheel of your dream Mazda sooner. See the new stock available for delivery now. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city.
Check out what I got at Sip and Save.
Whoa, that is one ugly jumper.
It's not just any ugly jumper, it's a Cooper's ugly jumper, exclusive to Sip and Save.
Cool, you got the Christmas in July look sorted. How do I get one?
Well, you just buy any 3 cases of participating Cooper's 24-pack beer.
Ooh, it is snuggly. I don't know if green's my colour though.
How about purple? There are 4 different designs to collect.
Now you're talking.
You better hurry though, they're only available while stocks last. See website for T's and C's. 1 hour delivery available in selected areas. Just download our app. Catalogue specials out now at sipandsave.com.au.
Did you know in Ghana many people are buried in fantasy coffins that represent their lives? These include coffins shaped like planes, fish, cars, animals, even shoes. For a more simple, affordable option, talk to simplicityfunerals.com.au.
If you want to build a new home, something that reflects you and your lifestyle, then you really need to speak with Beechwood Homes. And just so you know, they won't try and sell you a house plan. In fact, there's no house plans until you tell them what you want. So go for it. Start thinking of all the possibilities or get in touch with Beechwood Homes for a few thought starters. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home. Google Beechwood Adelaide. If you're an RAA member, visit Lordman and Pank and get $100 off prescription glasses and prescription sunglasses when purchased as a complete pair. Offer ends July 17. Minimum spend $350. Exclusions and T's and C's apply. Lordman and Pank. We care for eyes.
Scraped your caravan? Don't worry. Call Walker Crash Repairs, your RAA approved caravan crash repairer.
This is the FIVEaa Sports Show.
Still plenty come in the show. Matthew Loby from the Port Adelaide Footy Club and James Raleigh from the Crows, two assistant coaches to run us through their team selections and the games coming up this weekend. But first, thanks to Macca's SA. Earn points on your Macca's run after the game with My Macca's Rewards. Macca's SA, home of footy. It brings us Charlie Dixon.
Charlie Dixon, good hands, good mark. It's coming back. It's magnificent kick by Charlie. Charlie's got space. Charlie's got the footy. Charlie Dixon!
Oh, I love it. Can you do that live again, Timmy? I reckon that was somehow that's been produced in there. That was very good.
I love it. I love it. I want to be singing again this weekend. I want to go for it. G'day, Chuck. How are you, mate?
Good, guys. How are we?
Excellent, my friend. Now, little scare. Georgiades come off the track early, but he did the captain's run. It's all clear. We're all good.
What he's saying, he seems to be all right. But
is he okay?
Seems like it, but I think he'll have to do some stuff tomorrow as well to sort of make sure he's right. Okay. So but yeah, other than that, I think he seems to think he'll be all right.
So he's still got to prove himself.
I think so. I think he said that he'll do the warm up tomorrow and then sort of make a call from there.
Okay, cool.
We had a late change last week and maybe another one this week. But look, you go into this game. I think Ken made the point. The three losses you've had have been all against good teams. A couple of them have been away as well, which sort of make it a bit harder to do. So you can still go into this game chock full of confidence, knowing that if you play anywhere near your best, it's probably going to be good enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like I've sort of said previously, we've matched it with some of the best teams in the comp at the moment, but we just haven't been able to finish. So that's probably we can take a lot of confidence out of that, but trying to sort of string it together for 4 quarters is what we've sort of struggled with. So yeah, we've definitely been playing the right way. Some good footy. It's just those lapses that let us down.
Well, talking about finishing, it'd be remiss of us not to mention that goal. What about that? Up against the boundary line, the check sider was enough to get you back into the game. You were pumped up, and you didn't even win the goal of the week, Charlie.
Rubbish that was.
We need to have an inquiry into that.
Yeah, well, remember we're in Adelaide, so that's it's normally a Melbourne.
Well, it was Caleb Sarong, though, was in the same game up the other end.
Oh, well, there you go.
His wasn't as good as yours.
His was a drop punt. Yeah. Yours was a check sider.
It's garbage.
Yeah, I know. Mine was probably harder, right?
Yeah.
Probably because I've never done one of them before, ever.
Now, you weren't trying to put it at the top of the square or anything like that, were you? It was deliberate, wasn't it? No, it was good.
Absolutely not.
But seriously, it did. That was the turning point, though, wasn't it? Because you were about 4 goals behind, or maybe a little bit more. You kicked that one, and then you got one straight after.
Out of the middle.
You out yourself again. Some real sort of match lifting stuff, and there was real belief there for a period until they were able just to stop your momentum. So, pretty much exactly what you're saying. Take some of the lapses, particularly around the footy in the second and third, and you iron them out, and you're in really good shape.
Yeah, exactly right. So that's just sort of being consistent in the contest, for 4 quarters and converting as well. So yeah, we're able to get a pretty solid run on there, but we just couldn't finish.
Hey, Charlie, what would happen, and I'm just throwing this up as a hypothetical, what would happen if you just walked out onto the ground as the game's going to begin, you walk straight into the middle of the ground, Jezza looks at you and you say, get out. I'm taking this game over right from the first bounce. What would happen, you reckon?
I don't know, mate.
Can we get away with it, is what I'm saying.
I think I could do it. Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
Yes, this is where I'm coming from. Mate,
Maybe not a good career move.
You saved the day, against the Gold Coast. You nearly saved the day against FIVEaa. Just do 80% for me. You can do that, can't you?
Yeah, all right, I'll give it a go just for you, mate.
I love it. But honestly, mate, when you're in there, it's you are the difference.
Yeah, well, I think it's just I'm a competitive beast, and that's sort of it's pretty simple to win the contest or halve it. So that sort of makes it pretty simple footy, and then the tank's sort of slowly getting there. So I'm feeling a little bit better, sort of coming into games and sort of being able to finish them a little bit better. So. Yeah, I'm just trying to do what I can do for the team, and if it's in the ruck or it's in forward or it's wherever, I'll do what I have to. So, I relish the challenge.
The other success story of the year has been Connor Rozee going into the midfield. He potentially could be a star of the competition in that role. He seems to just grow into it and get better and better each week. He's a forward half midfielder. He kicks goals. He's just been a revelation this year.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think he's sort of got that confidence back in himself, and when he gets the footy, he sort of makes it a mission of his to get past at least the first bloke, and then the second, then the third. So his lateral movement is ridiculous. So no, he's been super for us, and like you said, he can go forward and finish as well. So that's he's still building. I think he can become even better in there for us.
And little mate Butters is back in there. From the outside looking in, Charlie, Butters just seems like he's like a buzzy bee amongst the group, and he's just constant energy and lifting everybody. Is he that character?
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely a character, and especially with the way he plays, he's tough. He's he wants the footy. He wants the ball. Yeah, he wants the ball in his hands, and he's a genuine playmaker for us. And he's a bit of a larrikin too. So the boys, we all love him, and love having him back in the side again because he brings so much run and energy for us.
Charlie, continue your good form, mate. We've enjoyed watching you play. You've been really influential at big parts of the game, and we wish you all the best on the weekend.
Too easy, guys. Thank you very much.
See you, buddy. Can't wait to see you in the middle.
It's going to be very interesting. Hey, just what you're talking about, Zach Butters, I think we forget 2 years ago, he went into the midfield and he had probably 4 or 5 games, a bit like Rozee is now, where he looked like he was about to sort of be the next big thing. Then just had some knee injuries and really hasn't had that consistency. It's not a big stretch to think in a year or two's time that Butters and Rozee will be 2 elite midfielders for Port Adelaide. And that is, it hasn't worked out perfectly how you would like this year for Port fans, but that is one thing you can get excited about. Burgoyne was a really nice debut last week. We know Lockie Jones is around the place. You've got Mead. There is still enough talent in that side to suggest, yes, there's a little dip this year, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility that you could improve incrementally over the next couple of years.
Those early 20s guys are very exciting. And Xavier Dersma, some people might say he's had a bit of a down year with the shoulder injury and what's not. But you know what? That kid is going to be a very good player for Port Adelaide. So it's a really exciting time for that group. We just got to get them, uninjured and make sure they're healthy, because if they can all play together in a season, it'll be awesome.
Charlie Dixon, thanks to us, brought to us thanks to Macca's SA, the home of footy, whether you're Port Crows, east or west, it's the home of a good feed after the game. So don't forget the app and turn your My Macca's rewards into plenty of goodies. Time for the 5 o'clock news with Michaela. On the other side, James Rowley from the Adelaide Football Club.
Hey, it's Callum here. Looking for something small, medium or large? Edwardstown Mazda have most models in stock, ready to drive away. You can feel confident in the team at Edwardstown Mazda.
It's gotta be
edwardstownmazda.com.au, LNVD 207428.
$1 mattress upsize at Harvey Norman. Purchase a selected Australian-made queen-size mattress from King Coils, Sealy Posturepedic, Sleepmaker or Beauty Rest, and for $1 more, upgrade to a king size. Plus 60 months interest-free, no deposit, no interest from Latitude with 60 approximately equal monthly payments, and receive a bonus gift card up to $1,000. Finance only available if you have or are approved for a participating Latitude credit card. Minimum financed amount $1,000. See T's and C's. Interest applies for non-compliance. Fees and product exclusions apply. $1 mattress upsize at Harvey Norman.
Now, we've all got our favourites in life, and there's nothing better than a trip up the hill to the Barossa. Ancient soils, old vines, and plenty of those first-class wines. A must-stop while you're there is our great mates at Rusden. Now, I've done the trip. There is nothing better than sitting in front of that old fireplace with a glass of the old faithful black Guts, Shiraz.
I love the Black Guts,
You've done
the Ripper Creek, the
Chook Shed.
Boundaries.
Yeah, there's plenty
Tell
of
you
them.
what, they're good ones.
We've had a few shows up there, haven't we?
We have
with Lee
indeed.
Matthews and the like, which was always good fun. The Rusden family, they boast 7 generations of grape growing experience, and they reckon they've got a pretty special patch of dirt out there. There is no doubt about that. In fact, it's also an ideal climate so they can produce their quality wines year in, year out. They're quality wines, and trust me, you will not be disappointed. It's a great time of the year, of course. It's footy season, but it's also red season. So do yourself a favour, make your next red a Rusden. Check out rusdenwines.com.au.
To get an A+ at school, buy your teacher an apple. For an A+++++, buy your teacher lots of fresh Aussie Pink Lady apples, now just $1.99 a kilo.
Are you supposed to be in this class?
Aldi. Good. Different.
Everyone has the right to age well and be treated with dignity and respect. ARIS, Aged Rights Advocacy Service, is a free, confidential and culturally safe service for people living in residential aged care, retirement villages or receiving aged care support at home. We can help you access aged care services, understand and exercise your rights and stop and prevent elder abuse. Google ARIS, ARAS, supporting the rights of older people. ARIS is funded by the Australian Government.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Possible showers tonight, a low of 7 with the 5 o'clock news. I'm Michaela Kamarek.
New Mitsubishi Triton with 10-year warranty, 10-year capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
Australian leaders, past and present, are sending thoughts and prayers to Japan after the country's former Prime Minister was shot. Shinzo Abe is in a critical condition in hospital hours after a man fired at him from behind while he was giving a campaign speech. The suspect has been detained. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says he's shocked at the news and his thoughts are with Mr Abe's family and the people of Japan. Former Prime Minister Tony Abbott says he regards Mr Abe as a friend as well as a fellow leader.
It's just dreadful news. Shinzo Abe has been Japan's greatest post-war leader. He's been Japan's greatest ever friend to Australia. He's been a very strong and forceful democratic leader.
Human rights issues and trade is likely to dominate the first high-level talks between Australia and China since 2019. Foreign Minister Penny Wong will meet her Chinese counterpart on the sidelines of an international summit in Bali tonight. Senator Wong says she's looking forward to an open conversation.
We think stability in the relationship benefits both countries, and we are seeking to calmly and in a considered way work to stabilise the relationship.
Our Prime Minister says he'll use a common sense approach when determining if New Zealand criminals can stay in Australia. New Zealand believes if one of their citizens has essentially lived most of their life in Australia, they shouldn't be deported. Anthony Albanese says our deportation rules aren't changing, but in some cases he'll take a person's situation into account.
Where you have a circumstance where someone has lived their entire life effectively in Australia with no connection whatsoever to New Zealand, then common sense should apply, and we'll act as friends and we'll work through those issues in a common sense way.
2 primary school-aged girls have been arrested and charged with assaulting a woman in the city. It's alleged the 10 and 11-year-old attacked the 24-year-old from behind as she walked along North Terrace last night in front of the Adelaide railway station. She was punched, kicked and pulled to the ground. After a brief chase, the girls were caught and charged with aggravated assault and defray. The victim didn't require medical treatment. The Tour Down Under will have some new features when it returns in January 2023. The revamped stages will cover 700 kilometres from Tuesday the 17th to Sunday the 22nd. Hitaf Rashid from SA Tourism says the Torrens will take centre stage on the first day.
We know that people have been asking for a time trial for a long time, so we get to see the prologue here in the riverbank.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Meet Connor Rosie and Mark Bickley at Sports Card World's Trade Day this Sunday 12 till 2, Regent Arcade.
Port Adelaide have made a late change ahead of tomorrow night's game against GWS at Adelaide Oval. Defender Tom Cleary replaces Trent McKenzie, who has a virus and wasn't able to train today. Round 17 continues tonight. Sydney play the Western Bulldogs at the SCG. Nick Kyrgios has gone straight through to the Wimbledon final after Rafael Nadal pulled out of their semi-final clash. Nadal has a serious abdominal injury and says he had to make a tough decision.
Don't want to go out there, not be competitive enough to play at this, at the level that I need to play to achieve my goal, and with a big chance to make the things much worse.
And Australia is off to a rocky start in the second test against Sri Lanka in Galle. The tourists lost David Warner for 5. Usman Khawaja was bowled out for 37. Australia is currently 2 for 107. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Complete Windscreens, the trusted South Australian name for car window tinting in Adelaide for over 40 years.
At Paralowie, there's a smash on Kings Road at Whites Road. Seacliff, you find a burst water main, Brighton Road near Sturt Road. It's affecting both directions, lane closures in place at the moment. At Dry Creek, we've got a truck broken down on the Port River Expressway near the north-south motorway. That's in the left-hand lane, and we're busy at the moment, Trimmer Parade near Tapley's Hill Road. Cameras, Cabin Road, Dry Creek, and Green Valley Drive at Salisbury Heights. Disney's Frozen the Musical has an offer worth melting for. Until midday Sunday, you can book a ticket for just $75. Book at frozenthemusical.com.au. Subject to availability. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Possible showers tonight, a low of 7. Partly cloudy tomorrow, 15. Sunday mostly sunny, 15. And Monday showers a top of 14. Right now it's 13 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
Chaos at Adelaide Airport. How to avoid the mayhem if you're travelling these school holidays. A former world leader shot in public. Why you're waiting longer to see a GP as SA heads towards a wave of winter illness. Nick Kyrgios enjoys a free pass to the Wimbledon final. Plus of fatty foods damaging our brains. I'm Brent Braglis. See the full story on 9 News tonight at 6.
If you'll need a window, and not just anything will do, just call Statesman Windows back to redirect to you.
Nobody beats Statesman Windows, not on quality and certainly not on service. Windows, sliding doors, bifolds and more, made right here in Adelaide, factory direct to you. For windows when and where you want them, call Statesman Windows, states.com.au.
Windows when and where you want them. Windows when and where you want them.
Get back on the road in the all-new Toyota Hilux at Jarvis Toyota. A 2.8-litre diesel delivering 20 kilowatts more power, plus over 10% improved fuel economy. Rediscover the road in the all-new Toyota Hilux at Jarvis Toyota.
Question, did you receive a bowel screening test kit in the mail? See, if you thought, nah, this won't happen to me, then please think again. Do the test, then head to the 5AA Win page and tell us in 25 words or less how you maintain and enjoy a healthy lifestyle. You could go into the draw to win a prize pack valued at up to $150. Remember, bowel cancer takes more lives than breast, prostate or skin cancer, but 90% of bowel cancers can be treated successfully if found early. Get to it today.
Scraped your caravan? Don't worry. Call Walker Crash Repairs, your RAA approved caravan crash repairer.
This is the 5AA Sports Show.
7 minutes after 5, Tim Ginniver with Mark Bickley all the way through till 6 o'clock. Still have your chance to win your way to Port Adelaide and the GWS Giants game on Saturday night in our 5AA locker room, so stay tuned for that. Matthew Lober to join us very soon as well, the assistant coach of Port Adelaide, Terry McAuliffe, and our mystery moment all to come. But now, the Crows taking on Hawthorn on Sunday. Let's join one of our assistant coaches.
Indeed. James Raleigh from the Adelaide Footy Clubs joins us. G'day, James. How are you?
Hey.
Selection's been finalised, which is great for us. We get an opportunity to see what the team looks like. And despite a lot of discussion around Matt Crouch and maybe he wouldn't come back in, he's been selected, which is great news for him and an opportunity for him to play really well.
Yeah. That Crouch has come back. He obviously couldn't have done any more than he has in the Sandful. Look, he's been great and worked on everything that he was keen to work on, and we're rapt to have him back in, and with our young group of Sam Berry and Jackson Haitley and Harry Schoenberg, so it'd be great.
When you look at the replacements, so Ned McHenry effectively is almost a 1-for-1 for Rochelle. You got Hamill covers for Mitch Hinge, so it looks like Matt Crouch basically replaces Lockie Murphy. So Murphy's generally half forward up. You'll just be able to reshape that, no problems, to get Matt into the midfield and maybe move some others around?
Do you guys go through that high forward role? Jake Saligo's done it the last couple of weeks. Wayne Miller has been doing a really good job down forward there for us as well. So Shane McAdam didn't quite come up, so he was another one that might have come in. But we'll be able to shuffle the decks around for sure.
And James, another one that did come up, Will Hamill, just can't get a break on those concussions, poor bugger. How's he pulled up? And he is important to you guys. I really love the way he runs out of back.
Yeah, definitely. Look, we've got to be careful of Will, obviously, and he went through the protocols and he's come up really well, trained really well, and I suppose we think at Marvel on that quick deck, if he can break some lines and get it to our last line and get it to the forwards pretty quickly, he's going to help us for sure.
I'm not sure if you saw this, James, but just watching Wayne Miller, I feel like there was a few things in last week's game where it just looked like he turned the corner, and he is one player that's got enormous upside, in terms of not playing much footy. He's got a beautiful kick, he's got some sideways movement, and you'd love him to continue and improve.
Fan of his, and all the forwards are too when he gets it. He uses the ball beautifully, and there is, you're right, there's some signs there, just his ability to switch into offence, and he's actually defending the ground really well. He did a job on lever late when they were taking way too many intercept marks, that he went on to lever and actually did a reasonable job for the last half. So he's very handy for us, and hopefully we can get it in his hands more often.
Riley O'Brien, he's come back and played some really good games for you guys. He's up against a younger, less experienced ruckman, but Reeves is a 209-centimetre giant, but I think that's one area that you might be able to get first look at it.
Yeah, look, Reeves is a big boy, but Riley's been getting his hands to the ball and giving our mids first shoes, so hopefully he can continue that form. They have got McAvoy back this week, that they might rotate through a little bit. But yeah, Riley's been in good touch, and hopefully he can go again.
Ned McHenry, one of the things he brings is pressure, and I think we've all discussed this week around Hawthorn and the way they play. They play, that Formula One type footy where they want to move it really quickly. So the pressure from your forwards is going to be really important to try and turn the ball over in your first half and maybe go back and attack them.
Yeah, that's right. And we've done that reasonably well. Our ability to lock it in there. We don't get from our forward 50 doesn't go to the opposition forward 50 very often. So it's been a bit of a strength of our game, and it has to be. Again, it's a bit of a battle because they are very kamikaze with their ball movement. It can go very fast, and they can score very quickly. They've had patches in games where they've kicked 4 or 5 goals in a row. So we've got to hold our nerve. We've got to defend really well, and it'll have a bit to do with our ball movement as well. Get it in there and give the forwards a chance to launch at the ball.
You got some of your best kicks down back, haven't you? So maybe getting them to overlap. And Paddy Parnell, getting his extension this week was pretty exciting. But he's one of the guys that can overlap a fair bit and use the footy.
Yeah, he's another one that the forwards are wrapped that's in the team. He used the ball really well, and we've got Dawson back there who used the footy pretty well. So if we get it to the forwards and they can overlap, as you said, then our forwards are pretty good ball users as well. Darcy Fogarty, James Rowe, Wayne Miller that we spoke about, so they use the ball pretty well as well. So just getting in their hands, and as you said, overlap on a quick deck at Marvel. We want to go the other way as well.
Just talking about Darcy Fogarty, we saw he had a really nasty compound fracture. I saw him during the week. He had a number of stitches in his finger, but it looks like he's been able to come up okay, and he's going to take his place. So that's great news, I guess, because it allows him to continue to have that continuity and continue his good form.
Yeah, no doubt. Look, I thought he was going to, look, the way he started his game with that first goal, looked like he was going to have a great game. And unfortunately, that finger, and he still played through it quite well, but it was quite a nasty looking finger there for a while. So I'm glad he could play it out, and it looks like he'll be fine for the game.
And James, Tom Mitchell, we know he can find the football. He had 35 with 18 contested last week. Is it sort of looked at that maybe Ben Keys just goes to him at stoppage just to try and stop that first footy?
Yeah, we've spoken about Tom and his ability around the footy, because even though they do attack well off half back, it's still going to be one around around the midfield. So yeah, it's someone we might have to put some time into. But we've got some guys in pretty good nick in that area as well. And Harms went to Lairdy last week as well. So hopefully those mids can still find the footy and take it forward.
And that's going to be one of the big battles. You've got Mitchell, you've got O'Meara, you've got Newcomb. They're all hard at it, which, like you mentioned, some of the Adelaide midfielders are exactly the same, and that'll have a big bearing on the match. James, thanks for your time. It looks like being a cracking game on Sunday. I know there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on it, and we hope you do well.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
There you go. James Rowley, forward coach at the Adelaide Footy Club. And like I said, the longer this goes and the closer we get to see the teams, I'm sort of leaning towards Adelaide this week after, tipping in the advertiser Hawthorn. I wish I could take it back, Timmy, but we put them in on Wednesday. It's too early.
It's way too early because you didn't have any time to warm.
No.
Yeah, and you need time to warm.
And I tipped bloody Melbourne last night, so now I'm behind, and gee whiz, I'm a bit flat with that, by the way.
He needs to put his tips on after the round.
Yeah.
My
vision's 2020.
That's right. Time to get to a break. We are going to play our Port Adelaide locker room quiz on the other side. 8223 0055. Line up now. Of course, it's Saturday night, 7 o'clock. Our last double to give away to the FIVEaa locker room. It's well worth it. It's outstanding. You've got access to the private bar, food and bev, exclusive viewing to the players' change rooms, and of course entry to the game, which is hopefully a Port Adelaide win. We'll check the traffic. Play next.
At Paralawi, there's a smash on Kings Road at Whites Road. Seacliff, you find a burst water main, Brighton Road near Sturt Road, affecting both directions. Got lane closures in place there. And Dry Creek, we've got a truck broken down on the Port River Expressway. It's near the north-south motorway in the left-hand lane. Busy at the moment, North Terrace, Frome Road to Polkney Street with cameras, Whites Road, Paralawi, and East Terrace at Henley Beach. Delicious 100% clean Mexican food. Enjoy a Guzmani Gomez burrito or bowl for only $9.90. Yeah, it's just $9.90 when you order through the GYG app. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Join star players from the Power each week on Rowi's Sports Show. Thanks to One Solution. Protect and improve your business with One Solution. Winner of the National Telstra Enterprise Customer Excellence Award.
Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Look, we get it. Nobody likes to wait, especially for a new car. That's why Wavell and Southern Mitsubishi would like to give you something cool to do in the meantime, like giving you a $50 gift voucher. Spend it any way you like while waiting for your new car to arrive. Take a test drive today for your $50 gift voucher. T's and C's apply. Only at Wavell and Southern Mitsubishi, driven by Australian Motors.
Don't just send it, ace it.
It's not just your deliveries that ASIC Couriers look after. They're also proud supporters of the community. Chris, tell us more.
That's right, Rowie. At ASIC Couriers, we're proud supporters of over 16 sporting clubs. We also work with and support the Breakthrough Mental Health Research Foundation to strive for a happy and positive workplace. By supporting us, you're also supporting the community.
Don't just send it, ace it.
Whether you're hunting down a rare collectible or just keen to swap cards for chores with the kids, Sports Card World is the place to be, especially on a trade day, Timmy.
Massive trade day. Bigger than any trade day the AFL's ever had. Let me tell you, Sunday from 12 to 2, it's set to be a massive one. Now head along, Sports Card World, you can take home some of the cardboard stars that you like. You might even meet some of them in the flesh.
Yes, well, I know for a fact Connor Rosie is going to be there. Now, he's the one you really want to see. I'm going to be there as well if you want to come in and say good day and talk some rubbish. But anyway...
Well, might be able to sign your 97-98 premiership
Geez,
card.
I look a lot younger on those cards, strangely enough. It's only 30 years ago, isn't it? Or 25. The trade day is going to be packed with AFL cards, there's Pokemon cards, NBA cards and more. So get to know other collectors who will be there, of course, in Adelaide's biggest trading card store, which has recently doubled in size.
Which is awesome. But bring your cards, say good day to Bix and Connor Rosie and get down to Sports Card World Trade Day this Sunday, 12 to 2. It's in Region Arcade, Rundle Mall.
Check out what I got at Sip and Save.
Whoa, that is one ugly jumper.
It's not just any ugly jumper, it's a Cooper's ugly jumper, exclusive to Sip and Save.
Cool, you got the Christmas in July look sorted. How do I get one?
Well, you just buy any 3 cases of participating Cooper's 24-pack beer.
Ooh, it is snuggly. I don't know if green's my colour though.
How about purple? There are 4 different designs to collect.
Now you're talking.
You better hurry though, they're only available while stocks last. See website for T's and C's. 1 hour delivery available in selected areas. Just download our app. Catalogue specials out now at sipandsave.com.au.
$1 mattress upsize at Harvey Norman. Purchase a selected Australian-made queen-size mattress from King Coil, Sealy Posturepedic, Sleepmaker or Beauty Rest, and for $1 more, upgrade to a king size. Plus 60 months interest-free, no deposit, no interest from Latitude with 60 approximately equal monthly payments, and receive a bonus gift card up to $1,000. Finance only available if you have or are approved for a participating Latitude credit card. Minimum financed amount $1,000. See T's and C's. Interest applies for non-compliance. Fees and product exclusions apply. $1 mattress upsize at Harvey Norman.
Every day, 6 white t-shirts are ruined by deliciously messy fresh pork ribs from Aldi. Your shirt could be next. Aussie pork ribs now only $15.99 a kilo. Aldi. Good. Different.
Scraped your caravan? Your insurance should cover that. Speak to Walker Crash Repairs and let them fix it.
This is the FIVEaa Sports Show.
19 minutes after 5. Still got Matthew Lober to come from the Port Adelaide Footy Club. Terry McAuliffe's going to give you all your tips for racing.com ahead of the weekend. And our $350 mystery moment still to play for the Barreau Hotel Group. Of course, we like giving things away. We're going to play another quiz, as we always do on the show.
Yes, Peter is in Lockleys, and of course we are playing for these Port Adelaide Footy Club locker room tickets where everything is included, including an insight into the change rooms before, after and at half-time. Peter, good afternoon.
G'day, Bex. Good doing.
Well, we've got a question for you. I want you to listen very carefully because it's not an easy one. They're often very easy, but this one's got a little bit of a twist in the tail.
Bit off-centre.
Yeah. Port Adelaide and GWS, they last clashed in round 20 last year, and Port were victorious by 27 points. Now, at which stadium did they play?
The Gabba?
The Gabba. No, unfortunately, wasn't the Gabba. Darren is from Engle Farm. Darren, did you hear that question?
I did, yeah. How you going, boys?
Yeah, we're very well. So which stadium did they last meet?
Was it Metricon?
No, it wasn't Metricon. You're all on the sort of the
same
right
track.
wavelength, which
right
is good.
track.
We've got another Matt who's at McLaren Flat.
No,
G'day, Matt.
Plimpton.
Oh, sorry, we've got Matt from Plimpton. There's two Matts there. G'day, Matt.
G'day, boys. How are we?
Excellent. Now, what do you think?
Mate, Marvel Stadium.
Oh, well played. Well played. Now, of course, there was a mini COVID hub, and
right.
6 teams were brought there, and that is why they played in Melbourne. But congratulations, you've got the premium seating, you've got access to the private bar, exclusive in change room viewing, food and beverages. It's all thanks to the Port Adelaide Footy Club. If you want to book your tickets, you can do it right now at portadelaidefc.com.au/tickets. Matt, you're off to the footy.
Congratulations.
Well done, Matt. All right, now let's get to bits and pieces of the news today. Matt Crouch, as we've been speaking about just then with James Rowley, back into the Crows side for this week. Against the odds, I guess. A lot of people didn't tip him to be there.
Yeah, it's interesting. And we asked...
Well, his coach didn't.
We asked James what it looks like, and you would think that, you know, the mainstays have been Laird and Keys, and then we've seen Schomburg and Berry go through their last couple of weeks. What will be interesting to see, if the whips are cracking, will it go back to Crouch, Keys and Laird, you know, if the game's in the balance? I suspect they look at Hawthorn and say, you know what, we can win this game.
Yeah.
And they've got O'Meara and they've got Mitchell, and there's a lot of similar types in there. Newcomb's an in and under style player. Maybe not the outside speed that some other teams have. So maybe it's a like for like pick. But I would hope that maybe they just rotate all of the midfielders and they all get just a little bit less time, but you don't exclude one of Berry or Schomburg, because it's still, you've got to expose those guys.
Your concern is that he takes up those two guys' time.
Potentially, or takes up some of it, and one of them ends up as the high half forward and gets 10 touches for the day, because Berry and Schomburg, neither of them are really suited to that role. So I just hope it doesn't dilute the young guys, and I hope that they evenly spread it out if this is the way they're going to go. And maybe Laird spends a little bit of time, or Keys is a little bit of time out. And instead of 4 midfielders going through the midfield, it ends up being 5, and instead of them all spending sort of 75%, they all spend 68%, you know, and they all get exposed to it. So that's what I'm hoping.
Got a question for you. Is the best position in AFL now half back, and is the worst position high half forward?
Yep, correct. You got that, or any small forward, any small forward.
It is so tough.
Even Tyson Stengel last night when you're watching that game, how often did you see him on the half-back flank? And Gyron Myers and Close and all those guys, they're Cozzy Pickett, you're right up and then you got to sprint back and then you got to sprint back up the other way.
It's a tough spot.
It's really tough. Whereas if you're Jordan Dawson or Tom Stewart or those guys, just mill around half-back on your own and get a handball receive and get 30 touches.
And that's a far easier position that the one we're talking about is the high half forward. The guy that probably did it the best in recent times was Tommy Lynch. Tommy Lynch for the Adelaide Crows, the connector. He was the best at it because he did all the work in between the arcs. Good kick, so he could deliver inside 50, but he got the footy. Well, what's the biggest challenge is getting the ball.
I was about to make that exact point. He was an offensive weapon. Yeah. Look, he actually kicked 35 goals as well, but there was two things. One, he just had a knack of when defenders looked up, he always had 1.5 metre separation and he was always in their vision, so they just kicked it straight to him. The other thing he was great at, he would just wheel around. He was a beautiful 25-metre kick into the corridor, very rarely missed that. Or he was a bit higher up the ground and he kicked it beautifully to the forward. So I think that's one of the things that has been underestimated with Adelaide. He was an absolutely vital cog in that wheel.
That 2017 team and the way it moved the ball was so exciting and the best at getting it over the back, but he was a massive part
when
of
you think about what that looks like now, you had Tom Lynch, you had Eddie Betts, you had Charlie Cameron, you had Taylor Walker and you had Josh Jenkins and they all kicked 40, 50, I think one of them kicked 60, Eddie kicked 70 in the 2017 year. So they were either one or two in terms of offence for about 3 or 4 years. So they were a super team.
Totally underestimated.
Quickly on the Sip and Save text, Matt Crouch, someone says. What about Luke Brown? What's happening with his career? Is he on the outer? I hope not.
I was thinking about this last night because what's happened is Mitch Hinge has come in, Paddy Parnell's come in, who else are we talking? Wayne Miller is now back in the side and can play across half-back. They are all elite kicks. Well, they're all really good kicks and they take the really risky kick and they've got enough confidence to do it. Luke Brown's just a little bit more, he's a much better lockdown player.
Yep.
The days of the lockdown small defender that don't have much offensive stuff in their game, I think, it's really starting to date. And even just the lockdown, the Daniel Talias of the world that have 7 or 8 touches in a game, and I know Jordan Butts does pretty much that role, but even that role's diminishing as well. You just think of Stephen May. He's the best fullback. He stops and he has 20 touches and he's creative and he'll intercept mark. So the days of just being able to play one phase of the game, which is defence and no offence, are diminishing, and you have to start to have it all. And that's what coaches are wanting, and that's what the good players are doing. So the demands are rising now for AFL players. So what I was thinking last night, where else does he play? The one thing about Luke Brown, he started as a midfielder. He's got genuine speed. I just wonder whether he's got a year of his contract to go. You're always going to play Parnell and Smith and Hinge and those guys across half-back. For the last year of his career, did they say, just let's free this young man, or not a young man, let's free Luke Brown up, play on a wing, play as a midfielder, just see if you can give us something, a different look. We can take the shackles off you of playing
Could they do that now at Sanford level?
Oh, probably could, probably a good thing. But generally at the end of the year, that's when you sit down and you say, what does this next 12 months look like? And they can just have a discussion about it. But what I'm saying is I think they've probably got to try something different.
On the other side, Carl Amon, his worth is being discussed at the moment interstate. Gary Lyon had some words to say because there's been reports in the last few days. Melbourne, St Kilda, Carlton and Hawthorn are all linked to some potential reports of around offers of 4 to 5 years. Let's hear what Gary said.
Carl Amon, 650 a year is what they're talking about. God, it'd be good to be a footballer in this era.
Well, he's ranked elite for this year.
If he's worth 650, you're worth 3 million. Maybe I'm just out of touch with the salary cap, but if he's worth 650, Dan McStay's 650, then I ain't got a clue.
Just be very careful, Gary, making those statements. Because the way I look at it is, Carl Amon was in the All-Australian squad of, what is that, about 44 or so last year? There's 800 AFL players. The average wage is about 430,000.
That's average.
So if there's 800 players and he's in, let's call it the top 50 and round it out, well, that's got to put you at 650, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of guys who are on 80,000. So if the average is 430 and you've got probably 20% of the league are on minimum chips because they're in a first or second year of the draft, and that's or rookies. He's all that and more. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot worse players getting a lot more money.
Well, it was reported that Pollock went for $750.
Well,
so
once again, just do the numbers.
A couple of years ago.
So let's think about this. North Melbourne at the moment, you have to, by law in the AFL, by the rule book, you got to spend 95% of your cap. So go through North Melbourne's list and you think about what that looks like. $12 million, I think the salary cap is. Someone's getting paid really well for not great
There would be a guy
performance.
on their list for $650 that wouldn't be anywhere near Carl Amon.
Well, there's got to be players on their list that are worth 700, 800,
correct.
And I can't see them.
No, they're not playing like it. But I think Gary finished it off well. Maybe I'm out of touch.
Well, the $3.5 million over 5 years was what Jared Pollock got, so that rounds out to about $700,000 a year. So,
and that's how many years ago? Like inflation's running at 5%, so he probably had a bit more onto that.
Absolutely.
So, there you go.
Well, let's go to the headlines for 5:30. Michaela Kamarek's going to join us with all the latest in the newsroom. After that, Matthew Loby from the Port Adelaide Football Club.
5AA Breakfast.
Prince Andrew, he's coughed up. He's coughed up a donation to her charity, but also an undisclosed sum to her privately. I suppose one of the nice things about being that rich is that even if you've done something that's completely appalling, you can buy your way out of trouble.
Informing Adelaide.
They glean their money effectively from the taxpayer, don't they? Yeah, and what passes down the line from their many unelected forebears.
Returns Monday on 5AA.
Hi, I'm Izzy and my family runs St. Louis Home Care, which was started by my great-grandma 76 years ago. We'd like you to meet Jen, our physiotherapist. She's supported the health and well-being of our clients for 18 years.
I love being part of a team because it's a family business. I think we're really caring and we all know each other really well. And our goal is just to keep our clients living at home where they want to be.
Yes, Jen, independence is so important. Google St. Louis Home Care to find out how my family can help take care of yours.
Well, it's about to get ugly. The Cooper's Ugly Jumper is back at Sip and Save. People love these, I'm telling you. Just get down to Sip and Save and purchase any participating Cooper's 24 pack and you'll get a token. Collect 3 tokens to redeem in store and then take home your very own bonus ugly jumper. There's some beautiful colours actually, a green, a lovely purple. Grab your favourite Cooper's 24 pack, start collecting. This week a 24 pack of Cooper's Pale Ale is just $51.99, and a Cooper's Mild Ale, 3.5%, I love that stuff, just $43.99. Now get ugly and cosy and settle in with Cooper's from Sip and Save. There's 4 ugly jumpers to collect, but hurry, the Cooper's Ugly Jumpers are exclusive to Sip and Save for a limited time only. They're popular, so get in quick. Warm up this winter with Cooper's when you start at Sip and Save. Terms and conditions apply, of course, and visit sipandsave.com.au for details.
Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Look, we get it. Nobody likes to wait, especially for a new car. That's why Wavell and Southern Mitsubishi would like to give you something cool to do in the meantime, like giving you a $50 gift voucher. Spend it any way you like while waiting for your new car to arrive. Take a test drive today for your $50 gift voucher. T's and C's apply. Only at Wavell and Southern Mitsubishi, driven by Australian Motors.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamareg. There is no official word on the condition of Japan's former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who has been shot while campaigning. Foreign Minister Penny Wong will hold formal talks with her Chinese counterpart in Bali tonight. COVID case numbers have remained steady in SA today and no further deaths have been recorded. And Nick Kyrgios has gone straight through to the Wimbledon final after Rafael Nadal pulled out of their semi-final clash due to injury. Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Paralawi, there's a smash on Kings Road at Whites Road. See Cliff, we've got a burst waterway in Brighton Road near Sturt Road. That's affecting both directions. Lane closures in place there. At a Dry Creek, got a truck broken down on the Port River Expressway near the north-south motorway. It's in the left-hand lane causing delays. Busy trimmer parade near Tapley's Hill Road with cameras Green Valley Drive, Salisbury Heights and St Donald Rapid Drive at Brooklyn Park. The 2-day sale is starting tomorrow at Harris Scarf. Hot deals and a wide range of homewares and fashion. That's great brands at great prices. Only at Harris Scarf. Sale ends this Sunday. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Possible showers tonight, a low of 7, partly cloudy tomorrow 15. Right now it's 13 degrees. More news at 6 o'clock and as it happens on 5AA.
You don't just do a good barbie, you're the tong master. You're not flipping snags, you're the backyard hospitality director. So you deserve the very best outdoor kitchen from Adelaide Outdoor Kitchens. Choose from the best appliances, add a bar fridge or pizza oven, or stun your guests with one of our custom-made concrete bench tops. We do outdoor ones and indoor ones too. Get a quote today and you can be entertaining before summer. The best backyard hospitality directors choose Adelaide Outdoor Kitchens. Go to adelaideoutdoorkitchens.com.au.
Which oil keeps your business moving? Farmers and fleet managers, they know. Construction crews and car mechanics, they know. And you know. Valvoline, the original engine oil.
Scraped your caravan? Don't worry. Call Walker Crash Repairs, your RAA approved caravan crash repairer.
This is the FIVEaa Sports Show.
27 minutes to 6, still your chance to win $350 thanks to the Borough Hotel Group Mystery Moment. That's coming up before 6 o'clock. And Tara McCauley from racing.com, your tips for the racing weekend. But let's switch our attention to the footy. Port Adelaide take on the Giants.
I certainly do. Tomorrow night, of course, FIVEaa will be covering it at 7 p.m. myself. I reckon Tom Wren and David Wildy will be joining me as well, so it'll be an awesome coverage, no doubt about that. We've got the ruck coach on the line. G'day, Matty Loby. How are you, mate?
G'day, Timmy. Going well, you?
That's the way. Excellent, my friend. Now, it's the old story. You just got to keep winning, don't you? Now, I must admit that the atmosphere and the feeling amongst the group, it's very positive.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the guys are all very competitive and they want to keep fighting, so they're definitely not going to give up now. So, yeah, it's been a good atmosphere all week and I think they're ready to crack in tomorrow.
Now, I've just talked to Charlie Dixon and I gave him a scenario. I said, what if you just walk at the beginning of the game right into the middle of the ground and, you know, Jez might be there and you just say, no, get out, mate, I'm taking over. Is there any chance that Charlie Dixon starts in the ruck?
Oh, I'd be very happy with that because he's done a great job the last couple of weeks for us and almost turned the game for us last week. So I'd be very happy with that. I think we'll see what happens tomorrow. But going on the last couple of weeks' form, would be stupid not to play him in there a lot, I think.
And when you look at the last 2 weeks, it's been really tough because you played Jared Witts, who's a star, and Sean Darcy's a big lump of a bloke you can't move. Tell us about Matt Flynn, because a lot of people wouldn't know a lot about him. He's the ruckman for the GWS Giants and still in his formative years.
Yeah, big years. He's missed a few years with injuries, and he's played some good footy the last few weeks. I think they came out and said he played his best game on the weekend, so he's in some good nick. But definitely for us, a good opportunity compared to the last couple of weeks playing some really big, dominant ruckmen. So I think for our guys, good chance to give us an advantage, and for our midfield as well, to give us some good looks going forward.
Hey, Lobes, Xavier Dersma, I felt like he was just coming back to, you know, the form that we know he's got in him. Had a little bit of an issue just prior to the game, had to pull out. How is that? And is he, if he's fit enough, will he be playing at SANFL level?
Yeah, Ders will be playing SANFL tomorrow. Did hurt him last week with a little quad niggle. I know he's one of your favourites, Timmy, and he's one of mine too. So really keen for him to build back some great, solid form at whatever level he's playing, because we know what quality of footballer he can be.
Talk to us about Jace Burgoyne. I think it was hard not to be impressed last week. 17 touches on debut. What did you see, and what sort of feedback would have he gotten after game one?
Yeah, it was some pretty positive feedback from the coaches and his teammates. I saw probably what I've seen from him this year in the SANFL, which is being able to win some contests that you don't expect him to win with his body size, and he sort of surprises his opponent. Wins a one-on-one and then is really clean with his foot skills. I think the first couple he was nervous with, and then after that he was really clean. So I think he's just such a natural footy player, like most of his family. So it's exciting for him and the family, and hopefully he can do it again and take another step up tomorrow.
One of the things you'd be confident with is your pressure. Your pressure's been really good over the last month, as good as any in the competition statistically. When you look at the Giants, that's the one thing you've got to bring, because if you don't, you've got blokes like Kelly and Canelio and Whitfield and just a host of really highly skilled players. So you should feel confident that you can actually get after the opposition and maybe force them into a game that they don't really like. They prefer it to be much more sort of clean and open and on the outside.
Yeah, they do, and I think it looks like they're playing with a lot of freedom at the moment, and that's what they want to do, and it's what's working for them. For us, our pressure's kept us in games and give us a chance to win, so we won't be straying away from that at all. We know that pressure in our team defence is the most important thing for us tomorrow in setting up the game, so that'll be right at the front of all the boys' minds, I think.
Hey, Lobes, you work with Scotty Lysette. He's returning tomorrow at SANFL level. Do you expect 1-2 games that he needs, or what are you expecting?
I think, having been a ruckman that's missed a few weeks as well, you've just got to get some fitness crashing in our bodies. He's got big Jared Redden tomorrow, so that's a big body to hit into and an experienced ruckman. Scooter told me he had 30 last time he played Reddo, so if he can get half of that tomorrow, I'll be happy. But
not like Scooter to pump himself up, eh?
Not at all. I think, 1 or 2 weeks, see how he gets through tomorrow. But great for him to be back after, I think, 13 weeks now.
And Lobes, do you find, like, when you've been out for a fair few weeks and you come back, I always found that the first game, you're full of adrenaline and, you're up and about and all the rest of it, but it's normally the second one that's a bit more of a battle because that conditioning's not there.
Yeah, 100% agree. The first one, you're just absolutely buzzing. You can run on adrenaline. Then you probably sore until Wednesday or Thursday the next week and got to get yourself up again. I know he's done a great block of conditioning, running-wise, so I don't think the running part of the issue, it's probably more the ruck conditioning and that repeated wrestling stuff. So I know he'll give it a big crack. He's sort of a heart and soul player, and he'll help try and get the Maggies over the line tomorrow.
And Lobes, Tom Cleary comes back in, replaces Trent McKenzie. Trent McKenzie's out ill. That's not the health and safety protocols. It's just a virus and an illness, is it?
Yeah, just the virus, not COVID, this one. So wasn't able to get up for training yesterday or today. And Clive's had just come back from his knee, so he's good to go. So, that got Tom over the line, and he's a great role player for us. He'll come in and do his job, and then hopefully Trent's available as well as of next week.
Well, Lobes, let's hope it's a good weekend for Port Adelaide. A couple of victories, one in the SANFL, one in the AFL, mate, and wish you all the best.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Matty Lobey there. He's the ruck stoppage coach there, doing some good work. Great player himself, Matty Lobey. And Port Adelaide, I'm tipping rather confidently Port Adelaide, they can get the job done. As I said, they bring pressure. When GWS saw them play against Adelaide, they got the ball to the outside and Adelaide's pressure was poor. That was probably one of Adelaide's worst games. They looked $1 million, but I've seen teams go against them and put real pressure on them, and they just don't handle it well. So I think that's part of what Port are doing well. I think if they can maintain that on the weekend, they get the chocolates.
I'm with him.
Yep, 7 o'clock is the bounce for that game on Adelaide Oval on FIVEaa. We've got the full call team on Saturday night. Looking forward to that. Port Adelaide and the Giants. Quick sport update before we go to the traffic. Australia have begun the second test against Sri Lanka.
Yep.
And there's a lot of spin bowling happening at the moment. 45 overs in, Marnus Labuschagne has just knocked up 50s on 78 not out alongside Steve Smith. 28 not, so the batsman doing quite nicely.
Was shot. 50 for Labuschagne. Batted beautifully for his 51. Richly deserved it.
So 2 for 153 Australia at this current stage. So
nice start, isn't it?
Not too bad.
Is it just me, or I don't know? I love Test cricket, but it just wanes when we play Sri Lanka and they're bowling spin in about the 10th over. And
33 overs of the 45 so far is spin.
It looks dusty. I've got to say,
It is
we've
very dusty.
got the TV on the background, and that, what do we have? 40 overs in, they're worried the ball looks like it's wrecked. So I don't know, it just doesn't have the same feel as against playing the Poms or.
It's very different, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a different kind.
In South Africa, we love watching playing
Bouncy
against them.
pitches, very different.
But just
indeed.
the spin, it just doesn't capture me.
Well, during the break, they actually went back to a time in the 90s when Sri Lanka came out with Arjuna Ranatunga as the captain, and they changed one-day cricket. They changed because they went for it in the early overs over the top, which no teams used to do, and they actually created a completely different game, and they won the World Cup that year by doing that. And just, I think it was Jayasuriya was one of the opening batsmen, would constantly go over the top, and you go, what are they doing? they changed the game, pretty much forever.
And
from that
still
day.
are a very good limit overs team. Beat us in the series only a few weeks ago, so we have short memories because we just won the last test pretty comprehensively. So off to a good start, 2 for 153. We'll take a break for the traffic. Terry McAuliffe not too far away in our mystery moment.
At Seacliff, you find a burst water main Brighton Road near Sturt Road. That's affecting both directions, lane closures in place. In the Parklands, Rundle Road is closed between East Terrace and Tikitable Terrace. That's for the Illuminate Festival. Campbelltown, we've got gas main replacement works there. Newton Road near Montague Road, speeds reduced, and we're busy Trimmer Parade near Tapley's Hill Road. Carras, Trimmer Parade, Seaton and Port Wakefield Road at Bolivar. Order a selected Audi by August 31 and receive complimentary 5 years, 75,000 kilometres scheduled servicing at your preferred Audi dealer. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
AFL legend Lethal Lee Matthews joins Roey's Sports Show each Wednesday from 5 p.m. to discuss all things AFL. Thanks to City Discount Tyres. Get road trip ready and keep your family safe with City Discount Tyres. Wheel alignments, balancing and wheel assessments.
Macca's creme brulee pie and McFlurry have arrived. Crunchy caramel and creamy vanilla custard. Deliciously messy. They're the creme de la creme of desserts. Available after 10:30am for a limited time.
Check out what I got at Sip and Save.
Whoa, that is one ugly jumper.
It's not just any ugly jumper, it's a Cooper's ugly jumper, exclusive to Sip and Save.
Cool, you got the Christmas in July look sorted. How do I get one?
Well, you just buy any 3 cases of participating Cooper's 24-pack beer.
Oh, it is snuggly. I don't know if green's my colour though.
How about purple? There are 4 different designs to collect.
Now you're talking.
You better hurry though, they're only available while stocks last. See website for T's and C's. 1 hour delivery available in selected areas. Just download our app. Catalogue specials out now at sipandsave.com.au.
Hello, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years, we have specialised in commercial and residential property management. But above all, we specialise in people, helping to make life easy for property investors and the tenants of their properties. Everyone is treated with integrity and respect. That's the Lynn Andrews way. For commercial and residential property management, we are here to help. Visit lynandrews.com.au.
The Adelaide Central Market is open and it's not going anywhere. You might notice some changes as the exciting new market expansion gets underway. But don't worry, your favourite traders, your weekly fruit and veg, your fresh seafood and morning coffees aren't going anywhere. It might be expanding, but the market you know and love is open throughout all stages of construction with easy undercover parking. Shop at the Adelaide Central Market, trading as always Tuesday to Saturday.
Top of the list? First pick, numero uno. If you've been dreaming of choosing a new Mazda, Mawson Lakes Mazda want to give you preferential treatment. New stock has arrived, and right now you can take first pick of the Mazda range and lock in an amazing deal. Get behind the wheel of your dream Mazda sooner. See the new stock available for delivery now. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city.
Not to brag, but AFL's biggest stars are at my place. They're smaller than expected, a little two-dimensional, but only because they're limited edition AFL sports cards. You too can own a piece of footy history with the Select Footy Stars 2022 collection at Sports Card World, plus exclusive jumbo packs and everything you need to keep your collection in mint condition. If you're a collector or interested in collecting, chat to the experts at Sports Card World, Region Arcade, Rundle Mall.
Get great value on all the essentials at Officeworks, like a Keji A4 copy paper ream for just $3.99, or a Keji A4 art diary for a low $3.98. Great value products, always low prices at Officeworks.
Scraped your caravan? Your insurance should cover that. Speak to Walker Crash Repairs and let them fix it.
This is the 5AA Sports Show.
13 minutes to 6.
The 5AA Sports Show Mystery Moment.
He is a big-time performer. $350 on the end of that if you can get that mystery moment correct. All thanks to the Barrow Hotel Group. The Albion Hotel doing great things with the cost of living, affordable meals every day of the week, as well as the Excelsior, Sundowner and Whyalla, Birkenhead Tavern, all at the Barrow Hotels. Give us a call, 8223 0055.
Okay, time now to go to racing.com's Terry McAuliffe, who joins us. Terry, a big weekend of racing coming up.
It certainly is, Bex. Good day to you. Hello, Timmy, and good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Yeah, we've got Gawler racing tomorrow, so Morphettville having another rest. We were at Murray Bridge last week, but we're back to headquarters next Saturday. But Sunday's also Port Augusta Cup Day, which is one of the great country cups. I always love getting there. They have a wonderful spread of food on offer at the Port Augusta races as well, boys.
Country cooking, Terry, up in the Iron Triangle.
Yeah, the ladies there, they do a wonderful job, have done forever and a day. So Port Augusta Cup Day on Sunday, where Grinzinga Star, he's won the Streaky Bay Cup, he's won the Hawker Cup, he won the Squatters Cup at Port Augusta a fortnight ago, so he's going for another cup on Sunday. He's got 65 kilos, but Lockie Overall's been riding him, will take 3 kilos off. Young apprentice who's starting to hit his strap, so he gets in with 62 kilos. Still a big impost, but he'll still be pretty hard to beat.
So what's that, Terry? Would that be the Grand Slam of country cups? How would you
they
describe
do
it?
run a country cup series there through the northern tracks, because we've already had the Hawker Cup in May. Actually, I think Grinzinga Star won that as well. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. So the Corn Cup hasn't been run as yet, nor the Roxby Downs Cup. The series itself, I should know what it's called. I know the cups on the west coast are the Bill Holland series. The ones in the southeast of the state of the Limestone Coast series. And do you think I can think of what these ones are called? No, I can't.
No, we'll get there. Don't worry. Well, how about, I'll forgive you this time, but how about you give us something that is going to salute across the line, and that'll be really nice as we head into the weekend.
Richard and Chantel Jolly have had an incredible season, boys. They're going to win the training premiership here, so it's the first ever for, well, just Richard, he's been training in his own right for a lot of years now since he gave up race riding, but these days trains with his daughter Chantel. They've got an unassailable lead in the Trainers' Premiership, and they've got 2 great chances, I think, there tomorrow to add to their Premiership winning lead. Race 3, number 7, Perfect Illusion, and in race 8, number 10, Extra Mile. I actually threw Extra Mile out last start. He was at big odds, and he ran okay. He might have just been 1 run short, so he's about $10 Extra Mile in race 8. Perfect Illusion in race 3 is about $4.20, so I think we can follow them in tomorrow. As I said, the stable's had a wonderful season.
I think you gave us Perfect Illusion last week. Came third, I reckon, Tezza. So
it
wasn't far away, was it?
Yeah, and probably hit the lead a little too soon. The thing with Perfect Illusion, Bix, it's an imported horse. It won 3 races very early in its career overseas. It's had 30-plus starts in Australia and never won a race. So
well, that's not filling me with confidence.
Quite early in the home straight last start. And I reckon it just didn't know where it was. It's thinking, like, where are all the horses that I'm supposed to be chasing? But it's ready to win. And Richard and Chantel, they haven't had it for the 30-plus starts here in Australia. They've only had it for a handful of runs. It's ready to win.
Hey, Terry, I had a look at the field there at Port Augusta Cup. Something caught me eye. I don't know why. It's called Port Royal. What sort of chance would that have, you reckon?
It ran really well last start, actually, in the Squatters Cup. It was big odds, and it ran a cheeky race behind Grinzinga Star. Look, the way it ran last start, it's not out of that race on Sunday, Tim. Absolutely.
Now, I've got another question for you.
Yes.
Race 2, and I like an Omen bet, and now it's been NAIDOC week, and I saw a horse called Dreamtime Warrior. What do you reckon about that? Has that got any chance?
Yeah. Trained by veteran jockey David Turtle, Ryan Hurdle to ride. It's got the blinkers on tomorrow for the first time. I always love the blinkers going on for the first time. But, yeah, look, it's going to be big odds, so it might be worth a ticket each way as well. As you said, NAIDOC week, it could be a bit of an omen.
I like an omen bet. Hey, race 5, I know Cash and Checks is the favourite there, but Jarmint, about 3 weeks ago, an old fella just said to my wife, did your husband have a punt? And she said, does the Pope wear a beanie? And and he gave me Jarmint, and it won. I was pretty happy about it. What's its chances tomorrow in race 5?
Yeah, it's had a couple of runs since and been unplaced, but Garrett Lynch, talking about trainers having great seasons, Garrett Lynch has had a breakout season. He's on the statewide premiership. He's on the top 5 in the state. He's trained close to about 40 winners, I reckon, and his previous best season, I reckon, might have been about 10, 12, something like that. It's been a breakout season for Garrett. Jarmint's been one of the flag bearers for the stable. So in last 2 starts, it's been out of the money, but it's a horse that could certainly bounce back. And Garrett's got a great chance in the the Port Augusta Cup on Sunday as well. He's got a horse going really well. You think it's number 2 anyway. So Grinzinga Star's the top weight, and Garrett's got the horse that'll carry the number 2.
Smiling Assassin?
That's it, Smiling Assassin.
Oh, well.
He's only had it for 4 starts, for 2 wins, a second and a third. So the horse is going great guns, and it's probably going to be the horse that I'll be tipping on Sunday. I'd love to see Grinzinga Star win with the big weight and add another cup to its tally, but I think with the pull in the weights and the way it's going, Smiling Assassin might get the job done.
Just on that, 65 kilos on the top weight. That's Trent Burgoyne's weight. He could actually ride the top weight in the Port Augusta Cup. How's he going? Just quickly, Terry, before we let you go, how confident are you on the Carlton Blues are going across to the west? They're taking on a rapidly improving West Coast Eagles. I sort of agonised over this, but I went with your mob. So can you have a word with someone to make sure they don't let my tips down, please?
Yeah, well, of course, I was speaking them last Friday night, and they let me down against St Kilda. And as you said, Bix, you summed it up perfectly. Looking at the form guide, you'd say West Coast rapidly improving. So I'm really concerned about this game on Sunday, especially coming off the back of a loss. So, anyway, I'm not going to be so bullish this week. I'm just hoping more than anything.
Thanks for your time, Terry.
Good on you, boys. Appreciate it.
There you go. Terry McCullough from racing.com.
Gawler tomorrow, race 3, number 7, and race 8, number 10. If you want an omen bet like Timmy does, race 2, number 2. Maybe just be careful on that one. Take a quick break. Last shout next.
Hey, Nick Del Santo here. I played over 300 games in the AFL, but I still remember my first game as a rookie. Back then, I needed all the advice I could get. So, if you're after an apprenticeship and need the same kind of expert help, don't go past MEGT. MEGT is Australia's largest and only national apprenticeship network provider, making them your true local apprenticeship experts. With MEGT, a winning career could be yours. So check out their free job board today. Visit MEGT.com.au or call 13MEGT.
Do you still love your car? Why not take it to Edwardstown Mazda to see what it's really worth? It's the safest and easiest way to move your car on and get into a new or used Mazda. 862 South Road, Edwardstown.
So what were you saying about battery-powered garden tools over petrol ones?
They're often lighter, less noisy, and some battery-powered tools give the petrol ones a run for their money now.
Oh, and Stanford's got battery-powered mowers.
Heaps. And trimmers, blowers.
So why haven't you replaced the old petrol ones?
I'd never remember to charge them. What's that?
This? Oh, just a little battery rotation chart I made. What colours do they come in?
You're the best, hon.
Stanford Mowers, 590 Main North Road, Jeps Cross. stanfordmowers.com.au.
Aldi's Aussie Turkey Mince is now only $4.99 for 500 grams and will completely transform your meals. Turn burgers into turkey burgers, meatballs into turkey meatballs, salad into... salad? Aldi. Good. Different.
Check out what I got at Sip and Save.
Whoa, that is one ugly jumper.
It's not just any ugly jumper, it's a Cooper's ugly jumper, exclusive to Sip and Save.
Cool, you got the Christmas in July look sorted. How do I get one?
Well, you just buy any 3 cases of participating Cooper's 24-pack beer.
Ooh, it is snuggly. I don't know if green's my colour though.
How about purple? There are 4 different designs to collect.
Now you're talking.
You better hurry though, they're only available while stocks last. See website for T's and C's. 1-hour delivery available in selected areas. Just download our app. Catalogue specials out now at sipandsave.com.au.
Hi, Rory Sloan here for You Install It Kitchens. Are you starting a DIY renovation and need cabinetry quick? Order with You Install It and get your cabinetry delivered in 15 working days. Manufactured locally here in SA, You Install It offers short lead times so you can get started on your project sooner. Visit a showroom, Modbury, Churchill Centre, Norwood, Glandore and Lonsdale, or visit the You Install It website for online 3D design. You Install It Kitchens, the complete DIY kitchen solution. Lead times may vary. See showroom for details.
Hey, Nick Del Santo here. As a rookie, I was mentored by some of the best footy brains around. After all, you don't play over 300 games without starting somewhere. In business, it's easy to find a gun rookie. Just call MEGT. As Australia's largest and only national apprenticeship network provider, MEGT are your local apprenticeship experts. Whether you're an employer who needs an apprentice or you're looking to kickstart your career as one, MEGT has you covered. Visit MEGT.com.au or call 13MEGT.
Question, did you receive a bowel screening test kit in the mail? See, if you thought, nah, this won't happen to me, then please think again. Do the test, then head to the FIVEaa win page and tell us in 25 words or less how you maintain and enjoy a healthy lifestyle. You could go into the draw to win a prize pack valued at up to $150. Remember, bowel cancer takes more lives than breast, prostate or skin cancer, but 90% of bowel cancers can be treated successfully if found early. Get to it today.
Scraped your caravan? Don't worry. Call Walker Crash Repairs, your RAA approved caravan crash repairer.
This is the FIVEaa Sports Show. The Last Shout.
It's the last time we'll be doing this. Roey's back on Monday. Tim Ginniver, Mark Bickley, your last shouts. What are we looking at before the weekend?
Well, I've got to shout out to a young man who's going to make his Sandford debut tomorrow, and that is Connor McLeod, son of Adelaide star Andrew McLeod and his wife Rachel, who has been so persistent. It's been a little while coming. He's had a couple of wretched injuries. He's got himself back. His last 4 weeks have been outstanding, and he makes his debut, which is really well earned.
That's fantastic. Playing alongside Cam Ellis-Yeoman, new Eagles player as well, picked up this week, and Scott Lyston on the opposition. So that Port Eagles game will have a lot of interest about it.
Absolutely. My last shout-out goes to a football club that we've been around a long time, known a lot of players that have played there, but they're having their first ever Indigenous round game. Now, it's the Salisbury North Footy Club. Eugene Warrior is the coach.
I reckon that's where Gavin Wanganeen started his career.
And you are spot on. Names that have come out of there, and this is amazing that they've never had an Indigenous round game.
Yeah.
And NAIDOC week, so perfect timing. The Bond brothers, Shane and
Troy.
Of course, Troy. Shane Tongery come from there. Gavin Wanganeen, Mickey O'Loughlin, Ricky O'Loughlin.
Wow.
It's just the star-studded lineup, let alone the guys that played Sandford footy out of there.
It's interesting the even spread, of course. So you've got Ricky O'Loughlin played for the Crows. You mentioned Eugene Warrior.
Yeah.
You mentioned who else was
Shane Tongery.
Shane Tongery in there as well. Yeah. So then you've got a few with Port.
Yeah.
What a proud history they've had.
Oh, fantastic! So they're doing it for the first time tomorrow at Salisbury North, and I think Mickey O'Loughlin might be appearing on KG and Cornsey tomorrow to talk all about it. So a great guest, and what a player.
Yes, he's here with his family here this week, so good to have him in Adelaide. My last shout is I saw last night that Geelong game, and I loved the Guernsey. I thought that throwback heritage jumper that they had.
Oh, with the collar and
with the collar and the pretend woolen texture on it, that was awesome. And I reckon it's time. It's been a long time without it, over a decade now.
I saw you online trying to purchase one.
Bring back heritage round.
Yeah.
We need to see that. And every club can do whatever they want, get as creative as they like. If you want to bring back the pop collar, do that. If you want to bring back the lace up, goodness me, you could do
Bring it back.
Some sort of heritage. I'd love to see
Thought how they could bring back the magenta, perhaps.
The magenta,
or maybe
they've rolled that out.
Or the Argentina style Guernsey they had
the blue
one
and
year.
white.
The blue and whites. They've had a few Guernseys over the
was
journey.
no issue when we wanted to wear the blue and white. Funny about that.
Good way to sign off. It's 6 o'clock, time for the news with Michaela. After that, we're headed to the SCG. Sydney taking on the Bulldogs. Rowie back on Monday. Good to see you, boys.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio, and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This